Distribution begins next week. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. Federal officials say Pfizer's new COVID-19 vaccine could begin shipping out tomorrow, with distribution across the country on Monday.
2.9 million doses will leave. An equal amount have to stay behind in cold storage for that follow-up dose. 11 months from research to roll out in terms of vaccines and getting it to the public. This process has been very rapid. But all involves stress. That doesn't mean corners were cut or that safety was compromised. Dr. Peter Marks, the director of the Center for Biologics and Research, stressed the vaccines are being made in a manner consistent with the high quality Americans expect with their health care.
Fox's Mike Tobin. FDA officials say they'll remain openly transparent with the people to ensure their trust. A federal judge in Wisconsin has rejected a lawsuit filed by the Trump campaign seeking to overturn Democrat Joe Biden's win. The judge's decision came as the president's attorney argues a case before a skeptical Wisconsin Supreme Court in another lawsuit. That case, liberal justices said, smacks of racism and would disenfranchise hundreds of thousands of voters only in the state's most diverse counties. Thousands of pro-Trump supporters are rallying in Washington to back his efforts to overturn the election. The rallies are just 2 days before the Electoral College meets to formally elect Joe Biden as the 46th president. The Army-Navy game underway at West Point with President Trump in attendance.
The rivalry not being put on pause because of the pandemic. The only people allowed in the stadium here are cadets or the midshipmen, and there's about 8,000 of them here today. The game is usually played in neutral territory, but not this year because of the coronavirus. The last time these teams faced each other here at West Point was nearly 80 years ago, in 1943 during World War II.
Fox's Alex Hogan. America is listening to Fox News.
The following is a presentation of Eagle Radio and KINA Sports. Trojan basketball is on the air. On the air. This is Countdown to Tip-Off for Southeast of Saline basketball on KINA Sports. Coming up, you're going to get a full preview of area games, analysis on this matchup, and keys to a Trojan win. Now let's head to the gym for Countdown to Tip-Off right here on KINA.
School basketball, southeast of Saline in town to take on the Sacred Heart Knights. Hope you're having a great afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Live stream video on Salina Post for the games this afternoon, and also right here on KINA, 910 a.m. and also 107.5 FM. A big win last night for the Sacred Heart Lady Knights and an off Friday night for the Southeast of Saline girls. They will now tangle up in an NCAA battle here this afternoon. We're about 7.5 minutes away from tip. When we come back, we'll look at the last games for both of these teams and also give you starting lineups in the tip. It's brought to you by Comfort Heating and Air as we get you ready for a doubleheader of Southeast of Saline and Sacred Heart basketball coming up this afternoon right here on KINA.
Seasons are changing, and that means colder weather is on its way. Don't be caught off guard. Call Comfort Heating and Air now to make sure your furnace is ready when you need it. We sell American-made York products, manufactured right here in the Midwest, so you know you'll get fast, friendly service without the wait.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Salina Septic Services provides septic services including septic tank installation, inspection, and repair. In addition to professional septic tank services, we also provide portable restroom rentals. We have many options available, including his and hers portable restrooms and hand washing sinks. Setup, service, and removal are all part of our rentals. Whether you project a long-term construction job or a family gathering, we guarantee a clean porta potty. Find us today at salinasepticservice.com, proudly supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Family, integrity, service, and opportunity. These are the guiding values that drive our company. That's what makes us different at United Capital Management. We know your history, your family. We celebrate with you and support you during life's many events. It's more than money. It's about relationships we can build for years and years. Let us customize a plan specific for you so that you can pursue your goals. Call 785-823-7900 or visit ucmofkansas.com to speak with an advisor and learn firsthand what UCM can do for you.
You're telling me your driver turns you on remotely?
It feels so good. One gentle touch of a handy remote or mobile app and my motor is running. And don't fret, my little pickup pal. New Image Audio installs these inside trucks too.
Oh, yeah.
You'll want it when the winter chill hits. A remote start from New Image Audio for cars, trucks, even diesels. All systems remote and cell phone capable. Nationwide coverage. Get yours at New Image Audio on South Broadway.
In Salina.
This is Trojan Basketball on KINA.
Welcome back into the gym here at Sacred Heart High School. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith as we get you ready for a doubleheader of Southeast of Saline basketball with Sacred Heart this afternoon. Last game for the Southeast of Saline Lady Trojans was on Tuesday night. They took a loss, their second of the season, to Smoky Valley's Vikings, 65-54. It was a game where Smoky Valley got out quick and took a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter, led by 10 at halftime, and extended that lead to as much as 18 points. Before Southeast of Saline came charging back, the Lady Trojans would get it to within 7 with a very, very good defensive effort, but come up short. 65-54. The leading scorer for Southeast of Saline on Tuesday night was Carson Slager with 17. 12 points for Maddie Harris, and a very good surprise, her debut on the varsity floor, Lexi Jacobson, scored 14 points for Southeast of Saline. Southeast now off last night after a game that got postponed against the Beloit Trojans. So now they are here for Sacred Heart on a Saturday afternoon. This was a game that really didn't have much to do with COVID implications, though it did. This was a game that was scheduled to take place right after the first of the year, but was basically rescheduled because of the moratorium that the Kansas State High School Activities Association put into the schedule, so you cannot play in that dead period, and this game has been proactively rescheduled for this afternoon. Tyler Smith joins us now, and you look at the schedule so far for Southeast of Saline. Tyler, first of all, I never thought I would say moratorium as much as I have in the last couple of weeks, but also you look at a team that Southeast of Saline coming in, their schedule's been very tough here before the break. It's not going to get easier as they have Hillsboro, a state-ranked Hillsboro team next week. You don't want to use the term must-win early on the season, but this is a game Southeast has to come out and perform well.
Oh, they definitely do, and they've got to. You know, it's funny. We break up the season in different sections. You know, you kind of have your preseason where you're playing your non-league teams, and now all of a sudden we're playing an NCAA league opponents, and this is a team that Coach Smith has expectations of competing and winning a league title. And, it's something that hasn't been done outright for Southeast Saline in a long time. And they shared a league title in 14-15. So you can kind of put those two losses to the side. A lot of times when you start off 0-2, you can be pretty down about it. But this isn't a team that's down about being 0-2. I think it's a team that's looking for their identity. Once they find their identity, I think they are fully confident that the talent level is there. And a lot of it, Coach Smith will take on herself. She's trying to find out what players go where, who plays the best with each other. One thing she's been extremely emphatic about is this is an extremely athletic team. Just got to figure out what group, and what pairings, what five work the best together. And is it a must-win? No. Is it one they want to get and they know they need to get? Without a doubt.
Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces as far as positions, things like that. We talked. This isn't a team that has a specific post player. It's a lot of base guards running around out there right now, and jersey numbers change as well. So we're going to keep fluid on that. We don't mention jersey numbers a lot on the radio, but if you're watching and streaming online on SalinaPost.com, you will see some of those changes tonight. We'll mention those as we go along throughout the game. Sacred Heart comes in. They had a game last night here on their home floor against Rossville. They won that game 48-39. The Lady Knights now 2-0 on the season. Their first game was last Friday night against El Saline, 58-45. So they've been in two competitive games so far, and this is a Sacred Heart team that just keeps getting better under second-year head coach Keenan Thompson. He has come in and basically changed the culture of Sacred Heart Lady Night basketball. He is a guy that came from Hugoton and a very successful girls program there, which Southeast of Saline fans are familiar with from the Sterling tournament. And Keenan Thompson has these girls from Sacred Heart playing very hard.
He does. He really does. And Coach Schmidtberger, who was here before Coach Thompson, did a good job. He just had a lot of younger players, and you're starting to see what Schmidtberger did with these players. They're now older. They're more mature. And Coach Thompson, I've sat behind their bench a couple times. He's extremely positive. And you're exactly right. That Hugoton culture is coming through, and you see Hugoton year in and year out, at the top top of the rankings. One thing that needs to be said, props to both these teams for getting this game played. I know you mentioned it earlier, but, they played last night and ACT this morning. You got to tip their cap for making this game happen this afternoon.
The ever so important ACT that went down on a Saturday morning. So we do have afternoon basketball for you. We'll have starting lineups for you and the tip here momentarily. Waiting to see if they're going to do the national anthem or not. I think they might save that for between contest here with the girls and the guys. We can give you briefly the Southeast of Saline starting lineup for tonight. They will start, of course, Carson Slagner, the 5'7" junior, averaging last year 18 points a game. Got off to a slow start in her first game against Heston with 7 points, but then came back, scored 17 on Tuesday night against Smoky Valley. With her will be junior Mallory Pearson, 5'6". Mallory had a breakout game against Smoky Valley with 7 points. Avery Castleman, a 5'7" sophomore, had 11 points in the first game. Did not score against Smoky Valley. I know Coach Smith is looking for some consistency from Avery Castleman in her sophomore year. Also in the starting lineup, Eleni Yanakopoulos, a 5'7" junior, 2 points against Smoky Valley on Tuesday night. And also in the lineup for the first time with her first varsity start will be Maddie Harris, a 5'5" freshman, 10 points in her first game, 12 points in her second game as a freshman guard. She will play in the starting lineup tonight for the Southeast of Saline Lady Trojans, off to an 0-2 start. For the Sacred Heart girls, they will start Emily Everett. So far, Emily has been the most consistent player for Southeast of Saline on the offensive end. In both of their first 2 games, Emily has scored 11 points. She is a 5'10" senior. Ellie Woodall, a 5'10" junior in the starting lineup. She had 15 points in their opening game against El Saline. Tegan Slagle, a 5'8" senior in the starting lineup. 3 points in the first game against El Saline in the starting lineup as well. Ella Gade, a 5'9" senior, will be in the starting lineup. She had 8 points in the opener against El Saline. And Kelsey Jake, a 5'10" senior, 4 points in the opener against El Saline. For the starters, it's again Everett, Woodall, Slagle, Gotti, and Jake. For Southeast of Saline, it's Slagner, Yanakopoulos, Harris, Pearson, and Castleman. We'll take a 1-minute break. When we come back, we'll have the tip for you. Southeast of Saline and Sacred Heart right here on KINA.
Seasons are changing, and that means colder weather is on its way. Don't be caught off guard. Call Comfort Heating and Air now to make sure your furnace is ready when you need it. We sell American-made York products, manufactured right here in the Midwest, so you know you'll get fast, friendly service without the wait.
You can rely on the company that cares where comfort's heating and air.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses acquire relief loans to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Hoops on KINA.
Starting lineups being introduced right now to the limited crowd here at Sacred Heart High School. If you didn't hear, Keisha basically said each participant in the game can be allowed 2 supporters to come in with the participants. So we do have some parents and some supporters in the gym here tonight. Tyler Smith, Devin Haney here courtside from Sacred Heart High School. And Tyler, when you look at this game, we've talked a little bit about the importance of it, the extra weight it carries because it is a league game. First league game for both of these schools. What are your new image audio keys to success today for Southeast of Saline?
Well, I think like we've talked about, our keys to success are Southeast Saline finding their roles, finding out what each player is expected to do and what they're supposed to do. And I think a big key is that relationship between Carson Slager and Maddie Harris. All right, both of them are fully capable of bringing the ball up the court. Both of them are fully capable of taking over a ball game. What those two can do together, the expectation for these two is huge. I mean, the potential is massive. But we've got to get there. We've got to make that connect, and once they connect, let's see what happens. Southeast
of Saline will start with the inbounds to begin the game. They're dressed in the road purples for the first time this year. Sacred Heart dressed in their home whites, trimmed in gold and dark blue. Up top, Avery Castleman on the offense. Pulls the trigger from the top of the circle. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the rim, no good. Back the other way comes the Sacred Heart Lady Knights. Across the timeline will be Ellie Woodall. Woodall picked up there by Mallory Pearson with high-pressure defense. She'll force Woodall to the right-hand side. Now a ball deflected. It's in question into the backcourt, and Sacred Heart with a sandwich against Eleni Yanakopoulos. Yanakopoulos will hit the ground, and Sacred Heart will conserve that possession. Back to work here on the offensive end for the Knights. Woodall will play it off to the left-hand side. She will find Tegan Slagle. Slagle now up top of the circle. Will go back to the right-hand side to Woodall. Woodall with 15 points in the opener against Saline. Fires up a jumper on the right-hand side, no good. High rebound, didn't hit the rim, and it's off to Maddie Harris. Harris in transition, coast to coast, layup up, can't get it to go off the rim, but she drew contact, and she will go to the free throw line. I watched Maddie Harris play a quarter of the junior varsity game, Tyler, and that's one thing she is very, very capable of. We mentioned it in the first game against Heston. She's not afraid to go into the paint and get that contact.
No, Maddie Harris is a special player. We've seen it in the last 2 games. She's able to go into the lane. She's able to draw contact. As she progresses, it's going to be, will she be able to finish? Will she be able to draw fouls? And what can she do once the defense starts coming and she can kick and we can see Southeast Saline pop open threes?
First free throw down for Maddie Harris. The foul goes against Emily Everett. First foul of the game. Maddie will get the second free throw as well. Southeast of Saline now in full court pressure. 2-0 early on. Lady Trojans with the lead. Sacred Heart breaking full court pressure. They saw a lot of this last night in the game against the Rossville Bulldogs. Here's a shot put up. That's no good. Coming off the rim, Carson Slagner with the rebound and go. Slagner, no outlet pass, dribbles direct. Nearly lost the basketball, and she does on a double dribble. She wanted to pick it up, got it caught on her hip, and the first turnover of the game for Southeast of Saline. 2-0 our count. 6:47 left to play here, just underway, first quarter. Full court pressure again for Southeast of Saline. In the backcourt will be Ellie Woodall. Woodall trying to work through it. A suspect pass to Ella Gotti. Gotti saves it, plays it back to her teammate. Now they work back to the middle of the floor. Pass to the near side. Now Everett has it top of the circle. She goes one dribble to nowhere. Now plays it back over to the wing. Here's a drive and a hand check foul called by the far side official. If you're watching on video, it's the near side. And it will be the first foul of the game for Southeast of Saline. Avery Castleman picks up her first.
And I think right now we've already seen what this is going to be like. Southeast is looking to put pressure on in Sacred Heart's backcourt, looking to put pressure on their guards. And Sacred Heart's looking to get the ball. So far, a couple of rebounds. This is where Sacred Heart has success, is down low. And Southeast Saline, their success is going to be in the front court with defensive plays out from their guards like that.
Near steal by Avery Castleman. She'll get tangled up with a Sacred Heart Knight on the far side. Her and Kelsey Jake go after the basketball, and it goes out of bounds. It will stay with Sacred Heart on the side inbounds. Out near the half-court stripe. Sacred Heart will play it in. Woodall has it now to Jake. Back to Woodall. She handles the basketball a lot for the Sacred Heart team. She'll drive, and a little bit of contact prompts another foul. It's the second team foul for Southeast of Saline. This one will be warranted to Mallory Pearson. Sacred Heart on a baseline inbounds underneath their own basket. 2-0 Southeast. They're going to throw away the inbounds pass, stolen by Carson Slagner. Here comes Slagner up the floor, splits two Knights, left-handed layup, good. Transition game strong for Carson Slagner as she gets her first basket of the game. Full court pressure again. Boy, Sacred Heart nearly traveled with the basketball. Looked like that pivot foot stuck in the court, though, and Sacred Heart will play on. Here's a baseline drive, and a block by Yanakopoulos as she let Ella Gotti get by her and then reached up to block the shot and committed the foul. Third team foul here for Southeast.
When you've already heard, you've already seen the defensive pressure that Southeast Saline can apply. Coach Smith was screaming too easy, and a couple inbounds plays. That inbounds play previously, Schlesner with the steal takes it all the way to the rack.
Gotti to the free throw line. Her first attempt is up and good, and Sacred Heart is on the board. 4-1 our score. Lexi Jacobson into the game for the first time. She will replace Eleni Yanakopoulos. Second free throw by Gotti is up, also good. 4-2, here comes Southeast. Quickly down the floor in transition after the free throw make. Maddie Harris will take one dribble, tee up a three-pointer. That's no good. Drew the front of the rim barely, and Sacred Heart will have it underneath Southeast bucket. They're going to break out now. Come across the timeline. Into the middle of the floor to Woodall. Woodall lob pass, big ol' lollipop inside to Slagle. Slagle with a fake, and then she's going to turn and score on Jacobson. Lexi Jacobson got lost there. And an easy basket inside. Emily Everett's first basket of the day. Now a hand check foul called against Sacred Heart will be their second team foul coming up. Foul on the floor. Southeast will inbound.
Well, and you see what a freshman can do right there. Lexi Jacobson makes an error defensively. It's her offensive explosiveness that Coach Smith is really excited about right there. Gets the ball outside the three-point line, one dribble, draws the foul. The girl is extremely explosive, is looking to score at all times.
That foul important for Sacred Heart. It's on Emily Everett. That is her second. Evie Mendez will come in for Sacred Heart. And an attempt on the inbounds, really nice inbounds play with Mallory Pearson having a jump shot on the left-hand side of the lane. And that ball thought about dropping through, but then somehow found its way out of the cup. We continue on at 4-4. 4:45 left to go here, first quarter. Glad you could join us afternoon on a Saturday here at Sacred Heart. Now a traveling violation goes against the Knights. Madison Ehrlich got caught with the traveling violation, the second miscue for Sacred Heart here in this first quarter. Pretty good intensity in this game, Tyler. I know we pick up a little bit of it because we are sitting courtside, but for the limited crowd, this game has a lot of intensity to it early on. Three-pointer in the corner. Maddie Harris, count it. Nobody came out on Maddie Harris, and she made the defense pay. A trifecta on the right-hand side, free throw line extended. Now a near steal by Avery Castleman. Now it's going to be tipped out of bounds by Maddie Harris, and these Southeast Trojans all over it defensively.
I think a lot of Maddie Harris' success is going to be just letting the reins, keeping the reins away. Let her go play. And I know Coach Smith has said that, like, go play. We'll correct mistakes if they happen. And right there, I mean, pressure leads to mistakes over and back right there from Sacred Heart. Good pressure from Schlesner and Harris in the backcourt.
So Southeast will get it back after Sacred Heart threw it into the backcourt after the inbounds. Schlesner now back on the attack. She'll cross over top of the circle now to Harris. She'll drive and dish out to Castleman. Castleman now with a cross-lane pass to Mallory Pearson. 5 guards out top, all working here for Southeast. A gamble for a steal leaves Schlesner open. Her three-point attempt up no good. Here's a rebound attempt and a putback by Jacobson inside. And a big battle inside for the rebound is won by Mendez for Sacred Heart. 3:52 left to go, first quarter. 7-4. Southeast of Saline leading on a three-pointer by Maddie Harris. Backdoor attempt here for Sacred Heart. Now they go into the high post. Back out up top to Eligati. Over to the right-hand side. An attempt on a drive by Madison Ehrlich, the 5'5 junior. Nothing there for her. Now a 3-guard dribble weave for the Sacred Heart offense. They'll try baseline once again. A couple of players running into each other, and we play on. There's an attempt inside. It looked like a shot, but it ended up being a lob pass to Woodall down low to Mendez. Mendez all over the back of Pearson. Still no foul called, and now a grab underneath against Castleman. Wow.
Very, very physical. A couple seconds right there. Cannot believe it. That's the foul they call. But this showing type of game is going to be called. They're calling it tight. And there's going to be a lot of contact. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, kind of what direction the referees let these girls play.
Avery Castleman just drew her second personal foul. She'll have to be careful. Yana Koplis back into the game as she is going to replace Mallory Pearson. And I think Elena just got her second as well. See who comes out of the pile there for Southeast of Saline on the foul call, and it is Elena Yanakopoulos, her second foul. So Yanakopoulos and Castleman both have 2 for Southeast of Saline. 5 team fouls already, and this a shooting foul that will send Sacred Heart to the free throw line. Tegan Slagle with 2. First free throw on the way, and it's good. 3:15 left to go. It's a 2-point game. Southeast leading.
And we've seen it, and we've talked about it, and it's one of our keys to success is Sacred Heart looking to pound the ball down low. And right now, Southeast is struggling to defend it. 5 team fouls. Sacred Heart's able to do whatever they can when they get the ball down there.
Second free throw no good, but the long rebound is ran down over on the right-hand side by Tegan Slagle. Back for a 3-point attempt for Sacred Heart. That's no good. Rebound underneath by Lexi Jacobson. Up the sideline to Castleman. Avery on the attack. She's going to stop at the 15-foot mark. Over to Reagan Getz, who just checked into the game. Her three-pointer off the front of the rim, no good. Battle for the rebound on the far side, and it's going to be won by Sacred Heart's Tegan Slagle. She'll promptly turn and find Ellie Woodall. Across the timeline comes Woodall. A little dance at the top of the circle. She'll fire a 3. That's no good. Mendez on the deck for the rebound, along with Reagan Getz for Southeast of Saline, and the arrow at the table will keep it in favor of Sacred Heart. 7-5 our score. Southeast of Saline defending underneath the Sacred Heart basket. 2:46 left to go, first quarter. Woodall wanting the basketball up top. They try to get it inside, and a foul will be called as Carson Slagner got her hand on that steal, and then she was shoved in the back by Emily Everett. It's Everett's third foul already.
Oh, wow. That is huge.
I saw you do it, and I had to do it too. I checked to make sure she was still in the game, and she is still in the game with 3 fouls.
Yeah. That's massive for Sacred Heart. I mean, everything runs through Emily Everett. I mean,
and she is still on the floor playing defense right now.
And there's nobody coming to check in. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if she's got 3 fouls, but if it is.
I don't know that anybody's really communicated that on the Sacred Heart bench.
Can you come check some fouls? Because we have strong fouls on some kids. Can we ask a question, please? Because we have 35, we have 0 fouls on, they have 33. Okay.
Coach Smith has called the officials over right now because if that's 3 on Emily Everett, as the scores table is showed, that's going to be huge against Sacred Heart.
Maddie Harris drove to the basket right before this break in the action along the baseline, and she was fouled.
There's also some confusion with the Southeast Saline foul.
Keenan Thompson, the Sacred Heart coach, just asked if we could just zero out everybody and start over. He would like that because Emily Everett does have 3 fouls right now.
Officiating without a full capacity crowd is obviously difficult.
And very open.
And complete joking. Officials doing a great job.
Yeah. Harris on the free throw attempt, up and good. So far, Maddie has 3 free throws and a 3-pointer to her credit. She leads the way, leading all scorers with 6 points. Second free throw on the way. She got them both. Full court pressure coming up after the bank. Everybody just kind of retreating for Southeast of Saline. Token pressure that time. Gotti's going to fire the 3 off a 1 pass for Sacred Heart. It's going to end in a long rebound and a run out for Maddie Harris. Here comes a 3-on-1 break. Harris in the middle of the lane. Jump pass to Slager. Backside good. Slager off the assist for Maddie Harris. And that is one thing those long rebounds off the missed 3s, Tyler, will lead to.
It is. And that's special right there. This is a great play from Maddie Harris. Great defensive rebound. Takes it to the court, and you have to give her attention. If you have Carson Slager on the other side to finish, good things are going to happen.
There's a deflection now by Lexi Jacobson. It ended up with Reagan Getz hitting the deck along the baseline to try to save that possession. She can't get there. It'll stay with Sacred Heart. But again, that deflection probably prevented a layup.
Without a doubt. Easy basket, deflected. Here we go. Let's put them back on defense.
Lob pass up top, nearly stolen away by Reagan Getz. It went off the fingertip of a Sacred Heart player, Ellie Woodall, and it's another turnover for the Lady Knights. 5 turnovers for Sacred Heart here in the early going. It's 11-5, Southeast of Saline. Slagner, Getz, Pearson, Harris, Jacobson on the floor right now for SES. 1:49 left to go, first quarter. Skip pass through the defense to Pearson. Mallory looking at man-to-man defense here for Sacred Heart. Drive and dish offense right now for Southeast. Pearson mishandled the ball. It came out of the hands weird for Reagan Getz. We had a good angle at that. And it goes out of bounds for Southeast, their second turnover. 1:35 left to go here. Opening quarter. Full court pressure once again for Southeast of Saline. Little 3-2 look with 3 guards up front. Pearson, Jacobson, and Harris running around for Southeast. And Sacred Heart's in trouble. They're going to have to burn a timeout. 1:25 left to go here in the first quarter. It's 11-5, Southeast of Saline. A 30-second timeout. Back with more Lady Trojan basketball brought to you by Saline Ortho here on KINA.
Okay, Coach, thank you for your breakdown on your offense and defense. Now here's Wanell Garrettson, your real estate coach for buying and selling.
Hi, fans. It's Wanell Garrettson from SalinaHomes.com, and I'm here to coach you up in your real estate game plan. Now is a great time to list your house, land, or investment. Or if you're in the buying mood, I'd love to help you find just the right real estate opportunity for you. And as always, go Trojans.
Buy or sell, call Wanell at SalinaHomes.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline basketball on KINA.
Back here at Sacred Heart Gymnasium, Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, Big Sam Purdy back producing and engineering this Saline County showdown here, Class 3A. Here's a near steal by Reagan Getz. Boy, Reagan's got her fingertips on a couple of these. Just hasn't been able to secure them. But she is all over the place right now defensively for Southeast. 1:13 left to go here in the opening quarter. 11-5 is our score. Southeast leading by a half dozen. A couple of dribbles up top. Finally now, Slagle gets rid of the basketball. She goes to Gotti, who gets into the lane, and a really sloppy shot put up by Ella Gotti, but she was fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line. Team foul number 6 for Southeast of Saline.
Extremely out of control right there from Gotti. Bailed out. You're seeing great pressure put on from Southeast Saline. We'll see if Sacred Heart can handle it.
Carson Slager earns the foul. That is her first personal foul. Gotti on the free throw. She makes it. So far, 3 of 3 from the free throw line is Ella Gotti in the Sacred Heart Knights. Only 1 field goal so far for Sacred Heart. Second free throw on the way, rattles out, no good. Pearson with the rebound. Here comes Southeast running already. Slagner up the floor to Harris. Got in, good on the right-hand side. Boy, that was a quick transition for Southeast. Sacred Heart didn't even realize they were back on defense yet. Here comes the Lady Knights.
Great job defensively, getting the defensive rebound from Schlazer and looking up immediately to Harris, who noticed that nobody was back deep for Sacred Heart. Easy layup. I wonder if that's a scouting report thing that Coach Smith saw earlier, but too easy.
Slazer on the steal, coast to coast, left-handed layup, got the contact, no foul called, and she left that layup long off the backboard. And here comes Sacred Heart with it the other way. 26 seconds left to play opening quarter. It's a 7-point lead for Southeast of Saline. And a traveling violation against Sacred Heart. 7 turnovers so far for the Lady Knights.
And you got to love to see this if you're Coach Smith. I mean, offensively things are going well, but we've seen her enough. It starts the defensive side. I mean, it's nothing but intensity. It's nothing but pressure. That's what she wants. That's how her offense works, is from the backside on the defensive side.
Southeast trying to close out the quarter strong. They have 10 seconds on the clock. 13-6 our score. Pearson has it in the corner, looking to get out. She goes to Slagner with 5. Slagner now to Reagan Getz. Little ball fake to the baseline. Plucks the defense. Out to Slagner. 3-pointers. Good! At the buzzer. Carson Slager puts Southeast of Saline up by 10 as we go to the end of one. 16-6 our score. Back with more Lady Trojan basketball at Southeast of Saline at Sacred Heart here on KINA.
Get the advantage this preseason with Can-Equip Service Advantage. Their preseason readiness optimization program saves you money and is backed by genuine Case IH parts and service. Inspection savings, labor discounts, priority service, special financing, extended warranties, and volume discounts now through December 31st. Get Case IH and Can-Equip on your team by scheduling your equipment today. Call or visit Can-Equip in Salina.
The Southeast of Saline School District has a long-standing reputation for excellence. This excellence in public education has been a source of great pride and one of the factors contributing to the quality of life in our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation works in partnership with the USD 306 School District and the community that it serves to maximize student potential, thereby creating a lasting legacy, not only for our children, but for our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation salutes the Trojans sports program.
You're listening to Southeast Trojan Hoops on KINA.
Won a breakout game early on in the season. How about a breakout quarter for Maddie Harris? Her first varsity start, Tyler. She already has 9 points. But you look at the points. You touched on it in our Keys to the Game. Brought to you by New Image Audio and pregame. The relationship between Carson Slager and Maddie Harris. Almost every basket those two have scored, which, by the way,
and I think the only problem with it, they've both always played the exact same role. They've always been the number one scorer. They've always been the player that brings the ball up the court. As these two gel, Devin, this team's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, it's one of those deals, really, where Slager a junior, Harris a sophomore. You're very aware.
A
freshman. You're very aware of each other, but you don't really ever get to play together until now.
You're exactly right.
There's another foul on Southeast of Saline. If anything came out of that first quarter that was not positive for Southeast, it is the limited foul trouble coming up here for the Lady Trojans. This one will go against Brielle Potachik, who has just checked into the game. That is her first. Front end of the 1-and-1 situation is up, no good. Another foul called on Southeast of Saline. So far, Sacred Heart, 4 of 7 from the free throw line. Southeast is 4 out of 4. But again, foul trouble mounting with 8 team fouls. We're just in the first 30 seconds here of the second quarter. Maddie Harris collects that one. That's her first. Free throws up, no good for Tegan Slagle. She's now 2 of 3 from the free throw line. She'll get another. Second free throw on the way, also no good. Lexi Jacobson brings it out for Southeast. Here comes Slagner up the floor to Potacik. Brielle now swings it around. Jacobson gets, now Harris. 3 freshmen on the floor for Southeast, along with Reagan Getz and Carson Slagner. Again, this Southeast team has no seniors. 16-8. Shot put up by Southeast goes unanswered. Now we're back the other way. Sacred Heart working the ball around the perimeter. Man-to-man defense being applied here by Southeast of Saline. Here's a baseline drive. Potacik there shadowing. Loose ball now after the miss. Brought up off the deck by Reagan Getz. Boy, Reagan's playing well in this game here, isn't she?
She is, yeah. And I know in the past Reagan's been brought in kind of an offensive spark. But if Reagan can establish herself defensively, she's going to find a lot more minutes. And all of a sudden she can bury this three.
Just off the front of the rim on the right wing. That time by Getz.
You know, I think we've seen it. We've talked about with the guard play with Slagner and Harris. Offensively, things are there.
Yeah.
The way to earn playing time for these younger players is from the defensive side.
Here's a drive and a shot put up and good. That's the exact same drive that Woodall had earlier. She took advantage of the height she has over Brielle Potacik, and that'll prompt a 30-second timeout for Southeast of Saline. We'll take it as well. It's a 6-point game as Sacred Heart has scored the first 4 of the quarter. 6:16 left to go. 30-second break here on KINA.
A strong work ethic, takes pride in a job well done, sweats over the details. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a response. You need a callback. You need a job. Contact Express Employment Professionals. We can help because we understand what it takes to get a job. It takes more than just online searches to land a job.
Get to know Express Employment Professionals by calling 825-4545.
Work hard, play hard. Good luck, Trojans, from Roselawn Memorial Park in Salina. To learn more, visit roselawnssalina.com.
Courtside, Sacred Heart High School, deflection and a steal for the Knights. Coming down the left-hand side of the floor is Tegan Slagle. Cross-court pass back to the right-hand side for an air ball shot that is no good. Slagle, though, gets the rebound. Her putback no good, has a second chance at it, and it goes in. Tegan Slagle gets her first field goal of the day, and it's back now to a 4-point Southeast of Saline advantage. The run now for Sacred Heart, 6-0.
And great hustle play by Schlegel. 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in that sequence right there. Finishes it. Got to get the defensive boards. Southeast of Saline.
Castleman unleashes a 3 on the right-hand side. That one kisses the front of the rim. Now bounces back out. There's Reagan Getz again, getting another rebound. Here's a drive by Maddie Harris. Pulls up from 12. That shot a little too strong. Battle for the rebound on the back side will go towards Sacred Heart. Mallory Pearson, Eleni Yanakopoulos will come back in for Southeast of Saline. Brielle Potacik and Reagan Getz will take a break. 5:25 left to go. Here's second quarter. 6 Southeast with a 4-point advantage.
When it looked like Coach Smith was trying to give those juniors a break, maybe in some foul trouble. We know Yanakopoulos has too, but had to get them back in. Let's see if they can play smartly, understand their foul troubles, and see what they can do still with their defensive intensity.
An extended 1-3-1 half-court trap here for Southeast of Saline. Sacred Heart gets it down along the baseline, forces up a shot. That's no good. And a rebound batted out of bounds by Sacred Heart. Maddie Harris had both hands on it, but was poked out from behind. It will go to Southeast.
Poked out by a freshman, Avery Eshelman. It'll be interesting to see her play. Eshelman, highly touted during the summer, plays with a good summer team. I know that Sacred Heart's really high on number 15.
It's a traveling violation. It's Southeast of Saline. Yanakopoulos in the corner trying to get out. Shuffled her feet with it. Yeah, 6'1" freshman, I think it's worth saying, and that's some height that I know Southeast coaches can look at with a little bit of envy.
Without a doubt. 6'1", extremely athletic, a bright future in her basketball career.
Up top with the basketball, Ellie Woodall comes across the timeline. Now she dumps it off in the block. Shot put up is no good for Sacred Heart's Tegan Slagle. She got a second attempt at it, though. And right now, just down underneath, Southeast of Saline's getting beat under the rim because they're not blocking out. They have position. They're just not aggressive that much on their blockouts, Tyler.
You're exactly right. Position is there, just not then getting physical once the ball is able to be rebounded. And it's one of those foul calls that, yeah, the hands are, you're leaning over. It's going to be a foul call every time.
Slagle, as I mentioned, missed her first shot but was able to go up over Eleni Yanakopoulos and get the rebound and put it back up. Then Yanakopoulos got tagged with the foul. It's her third, backing into Slagle. And as much as people will scream from the stands over the back, there is no such thing as an over-the-back foul. Second free throw coming up is good.
And it's nice not to hear that over and over. It must be the student section that continues to do that.
That's it. Slager airmailed one over the top of Avery Castleman. It looked like Castleman might have been open down along the baseline side, but Slager stripe put that one in a little too hot for her. 16-13. Southeast still looking for the first bucket of the second quarter. They're on defense now, massaging this 3-point lead. 4.5 minutes left to go in the second. Here's a high post entry. Now they dump it down low, and another foul called against Southeast of Saline. This will be the second on Maddie Harris.
You can tell that Sacred Heart, they got a game plan. The game plan is get the ball low, see how Southeast can handle it, and right now not handling it very well. You've said there haven't been many field goals made by Sacred Heart, but a lot of fouls.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the first free throw attempt, up and good by Tegan Slagle. 10 team fouls now for Southeast of Saline, so the remaining 4.5 minutes of this quarter, Southeast of Saline will have to endure double bonus opportunities here by the Lady Knights. Slagle's second free throw on the way, also good. That's the first time this afternoon she has gone to the line and got them both. Now a errant ball thrown into the court of play. Slager ends up on a 5-on-4 opportunity, gets her way to the paint. Now she's going to go to the free throw line.
You know, we talk about sometimes when we're doing
both at the free throw line as she was knocked down on a super aggressive block out by Sacred Heart. 14 left to go. Here's a three-pointer by Gotti in the far corner. Those free throws by Slagner breaks a big scoring drought for Southeast of Saline. Also will put them up by 3. Here's another three-pointer by Sacred Heart. That's no good. Slagner, and they're fighting for her life and the rebound. She's tied up by 2 Sacred Heart players, and the arrow in favor of Southeast of Saline. Oh, they're going to call a foul here, Tyler.
Okay, good. And you know, we saw that Schlesner had that position, and we've talked about the position, and finally she went up and fought for the basketball. Great call right there. It was evident to everybody on this side of the gym. Good call. Schlesner fought for it. She's rewarded.
Avery Eshelman guilty of the foul. That's her first. Over to the right-hand side now, Maddie Harris, little pick-and-roll situation there with Schlesner, and Avery Castleman throws it out of bounds. It's the 4th turnover for Southeast of Saline. And Sacred Heart has been able to get this push, Tyler, in the second quarter because they have not turned the ball over yet here in the second.
And that was their bugaboo in the first quarter. Just too many turnovers, and now we're seeing, there you go. Again, great position from Schlesner on there. Another foul by Eshelman. I don't know if they hurt us. They must have. But not only are they fighting for the basketball, but that position is now leading to fouls on Sacred Heart.
I feel like we have this newfound power with limited people in the crowd that we can actually, make stuff happen.
We'll try it.
Kira Cochran has come into the game. I like her shoe game. Very bright gold-orange Adidas shoes. Slagner to the free throw line, collects the first one.
And Schlesner's shoe game isn't bad either. While we're talking about shoe games, so that's pretty good. The days have changed from back when we played.
The old team issue black and whites, huh?
Yes.
Second free throw on the way. That's also good. So Carson Slager not only taking over on the rebounding side of things, good things happening now at the line as she has gone 4 of 4 from the stripe, now on 11 points. 20-15. That Southeast lead now is swelled back to 5. Here's Cochran in the corner. Nearly lost the basketball. Jacobson, Pearson on the deck. They do take it away for Southeast. First turnover of the quarter for Sacred Heart. In transition, Slagner negotiating her way through traffic. Left the left-handed layup short. Now Sacred Heart coming back the other way. With the basketball, Ellie Woodall. She'll be met by Harris at the top of the circle. Avery Castleman also hanging out at the top of that zone, and a ball slapped out of bounds by Jacobson. But you'd like to see Lexi bring that ball in instead of knocking it away and maybe get another turnover there for Sacred Heart.
You do, but you just see the rawness of Lexi Jacobson. I mean, there's a lot of athleticism, and they're sometimes not quite sure what to do. That athleticism plays at all times.
Up top of the circle, Sacred Heart gets it into Woodall. Now over to Gotti. She'll unleash another three. That one no good. With the rebound, though, Sacred Heart keeps it on their offensive end, but then a traveling violation will be issued here underneath the basket to Emily Everett. I am shocked to see Everett back in the game with 3 fouls.
I am too. And Sacred Heart's offense and defense is so much more secured with her in the ball game. But to play with 3 fouls in the first half it's either going to be an extremely smart decision or an absolutely dagger to Sacred Heart if she picks up her 4th in the first half.
Everett, the most consistent scorer for Sacred Heart so far this season. She's gone for 11 points in both of the first 2 games for the Knights. Here's Slagner, pull up from 12, buried it. First field goal of the quarter for Southeast of Saline. Their lead back to 7.
That looked like Slagner of last year.
Yes.
I mean, able to make a move, all of a sudden get a wide open 10-footer and bury it.
She's kind of taken a little bit to settle into her role, too, this year. I know Heston was a different story because they were very good defensively and gave her a lot of attention. But Carson looking around now with all the new pieces around her, she's adjusted her game a bit.
Well, and Carson just having options is huge. I mean, and with no disrespect to everybody that's been there before, had great players that graduated last year, but all of a sudden Slagner has so many offensive options.
One-arm pass by Slagner. She caught the rebound. Outlet pass from underneath from Mallory Pearson, who was in there fighting for the rebound. Mallory got it to Carson, and from free throw line extended on one end of the floor. She goes one-arm pass to the free throw line on the other end of the floor. Ends up with Avery Eshelman, who got fouled, will go to the free throw line for 2.
And it's all a role thing. I know we talk about, these teams not having a summer to play with. You look at Southeast Saline in the last 2 years. They've had great leadership, lost 5 seniors. 5 that played an integral role in turning this program around, and they always played together. Now, this is a team that all of a sudden you have 3 freshmen that are on the court at the same time, with a sophomore, with a junior. You never know what's going on, and no summer. I mean, this team hasn't played together. And I know we're talking about that with a lot of these programs, but I don't know if that can be, understated or overstated enough, to see what these girls and how they're going to gel as we keep progressing.
2 free throws buried by Avery Eshelman. Avery's offense is going to be welcomed, I know, by Southeast of Saline this season in her sophomore year. She's definitely a girl that can get on a roll. She comes out of the game after making both those free throws. Brielle Potachik into the contest, along with Harris, Slagner, Getz, and Pearson. 1:49 left to go before halftime. A 9-point lead now by Southeast of Saline as they're on an 8-0 run. Now defense creates another turnover for Sacred Heart. Southeast really getting after it on the defensive end.
Yeah, and travel by Woodall, just one of those things we see a lot now where the body moves quicker than the brain. Shuffled the feet, Southeast ball.
Harris with the basketball. Now she'll go up top. Potachik. Slagner guarded 3. Rolls off the rim, no good. Gets battling for it, keeps it alive out to Harris off the tip. Harris off the window is good. Boy, that brings a smile from Carson Slagner's face as she looks at Maddie Harris with her first basket of the second quarter, now on 11 points. Inside, an entry pass, and now a backdoor cut. Beautiful offense by Sacred Heart. They can't get the basket to go, though, by Eshelman down low. And now the ball tied up. 4 girls have hands on the ball, and we'll have to go to the table and check the arrow. It will stay with Sacred Heart. 1:08 left to play before the break.
Hey, you know what I love to see the most is how Harris plays an unstructured basketball. And it's the same thing we've always said about Slagner. Offensive rebound right there, not a lot going on, takes it to the rack. Not an easy bucket, but she made it look easy.
3-pointer off the inbounds play by Sacred Heart. That's no good. Rebound taken in by Sacred Heart. Their attempt to put back is no good, and Reagan gets in there again with a rebound. Now she is fouled, and she'll walk to the other end for free throws. Boy, I'm really impressed with Reagan in this game.
Reagan's shown a lot of physicality, and I know that's exactly what Coach Smith wanted from her and needs from her. This team needs somebody in there that's just going to go bang down low, do the ugly stuff, and she's rewarded with 2 free throws, or with a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Kelsey Jake on the free throws, on the foul. It's her second. Will be a 1-and-1 opportunity here for Reagan Getz into the game. Lexi Jacobson, she will give Maddie Harris her first break. Harris and Slagner played the whole first half thus far. Now Harris will come out and have a break. Getz eyes the first free throw. 62 seconds left. Off the back of the rim, no good. Pearson battling for the rebound. Let Eshelman have it as she chases it to the corner. 57 left to go. We're in the last minute of the second quarter. We got Bryson Flax coming up. We'll talk about Southeast of Saline after their first win against Smoky Valley in the home gym on Tuesday. They'll play a Sacred Heart team. Year in, year out, they just keep reloading, the Knights do. Here's a turnaround inside and a friendly roll for Tegan Slagle. Boy, she's been very active offensively for Sacred Heart. 26-17. Southeast has it on the left-hand side. Looks like the Lady Trojans will be playing for one last shot. 19 seconds left to play in the second period, and a reach-in foul will be called up top on Tessa Yunk. That will send Carson Slagner to the free throw line. First foul on Yunk.
Yeah, as you said, it looked like Southeast was fully content with playing for one shot, and all of a sudden Sacred Heart comes out, puts pressure on, and I don't know many people that can guard Carson Slager 40 feet away from the bucket that close without committing a foul.
Carson to the line on a double bonus. That's a 10th team foul. She's done really well on her 1-and-1s, but she misses the front end of this one. She'll get the bonus. She'll get the second, though, after the 10th team foul on Sacred Heart. For Tessa Young, that was her first personal. Second free throw on the way for Slagner. She missed them both. Rebound off the free throw up high by Tegan Slagle. Here comes Sacred Heart now, and their opportunity to play for one last shot. 10 seconds left to go in the half. 26-17. Here's a steal by Slagner. She's on a race the other end. Left-handed layup, good by Carson. Her second field goal of the quarter. And that will put an exclamation point on the end of this first half. 28-17 is our score. Lady Trojans of Southeast of Saline lead it by 11 as we go to the locker room. When we come back, we'll go over numbers from the first half. But when we come back after the break, Bryson Flax will join us, talk about Southeast of Saline guys basketball as they prepare for the Sacred Heart Knights. 28-17, Southeast of Saline leading it here at halftime on KINA.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Family, integrity, service, and opportunity. These are the guiding values that drive our company. That's what makes us different at United Capital Management. We know your history, your family. We celebrate with you and support you during life's many events. It's more than money. It's about relationships we can build for years and years. Let us customize a plan specific for you so that you can pursue your goals. Call 785-823-7900 or visit ucmofkansas.com to speak with an advisor and learn firsthand what UCM can do for you.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap. Shot at the horn! Stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Now, let's get back to the gym for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here, halftime of the girls' contest, 28-17 is our score. Southeast of Saline leading over Sacred Heart. Southeast closed the quarter on a little 11-0 run there that was able to help them get the lead into halftime. Bryson Flax joins us now on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. We look back at the first win of the season against Smoky Valley on your home court Tuesday night. Coach, you get the big victory, 65-37 over the Vikings, and a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and then a big second quarter for you. Gave you a 7-point lead at the break. What was your conversation with the guys and your thoughts after that first half?
You know, I thought we were doing some good things. We just weren't finishing plays, really, and you know, we gave them some extra opportunities just because we weren't we were in position defensively. We didn't have our eyes on the ball and our man, you know, and we're getting a little lost and giving them some easy ones. You know, but I kept telling them, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll be all right. You know, clean those little things up and then, you know, get them, force them to one and out and get on the run. So I thought we did a nice job doing that.
You mentioned to me just kind of a point of emphasis, and this dates back to last year, coming out of the locker room and taking the second half strong as you start the third quarter. And you guys were able to do that. You went on a 24-8 third quarter run that really helped you pull away in this game. And we saw the evolution of team basketball come back to the floor as everybody, it seemed like, would get out on the break, everybody would touch the ball, everybody would score. We talked about that being fun, but just the mentality of when you break the locker room and come out for the third quarter, it's game on.
Yeah, and it's got to be. And unfortunately, that's not really on me. You know, that's on these guys, and it starts with guys like Jackson and Brian and Eli and you know, Grant and Cam and those guys, because you know, I tell them I can't give you energy. You know, you got to bring your own energy. You know, I can hoorah you to death, but that might, you know, who knows, you know, they got to bring their own energy and they got to hold one another accountable. And you know, I think they did that in the third quarter the other night, and it was fun to watch.
one of the guys that really shined in this game for you was Eli Harris, 20 points for him. But I don't think it really stops with the box score of points. There was so many other things that he did well in this game. Talk about Eli Sawyer's game and how he was able to get everybody involved.
Yeah, he passed the ball really well, and part of it was he'd grab a defensive rebound and kind of start the break, and guys would fill in. And you know, we practice, on passing the basketball, and making the right decisions when we have the opportunities. And I thought, like, his decision making, I would have given it probably about a A-. I thought he was really good. And if he continues to do that, then others are, obviously getting involved and things are flowing and we got a good rhythm. So I was happy for Eli. But it doesn't mean much to do it one time. You got to continue to do it. So
playing defensively like you guys do, and I know sometimes it's hard to switch gears. We've seen it with the younger girls on the girls' side. You play so hard defensively, sometimes it's hard to idle down and be more under control when you have the ball on offense. I thought you guys played well because defensively the intensity was there, but you only had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, we did a nice job of taking care of the basketball. And, Smoky's not as long as a team like Heston or looking forward to a team like tonight or Abilene next week. Those teams are long and athletic, and that'll be the true test to see how we handle that. But I did think we put a little more on our passes. We were meeting the basketball. We were doing the little things to not turn the basketball over. And, like I said, decision-making in transition on the run, and I thought it was really good. So,
coming off of a win, now 1-1 on the season, you step in for a game that has more importance, not only because it's Sacred Heart, but also because this is your first league game. Talk about your goals this year in the league and also the Sacred Heart Knights. It just seems like they just keep reloading, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and they're pretty good, and especially on the defensive end and then their perimeter shooting. But league-wise, we want to compete for it, every year, and I think we've got a roster to compete for it, but that you're right. You got to, no matter who it is, it's a league, a conference game, a league game, and you got to come out ready to play because all of us teams know a lot about each other. We know what we do, we know our tendencies, and so then it becomes who can be more disciplined and who can execute. And, I feel good about our position if we come to play.
Keys to success for your guys in this afternoon's game?
Man, we're going to have to keep them out of the paint. They do a good job of getting downhill. And if you have to hold help for a step or two late or too long, then you're going to be late getting out to the shooters, and they can really shoot the basketball. But that and don't turn the ball over. So
sounds good. We'll enjoy it and talk to you after the game. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bryson Flax, head coach of the Southeast Guys. His guys today taking on the Sacred Heart Knights. Should be a good one. That's game number 2 of our doubleheader. Coming up, numbers from the first half and third quarter action for you. It's right around the corner as we continue on the Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. 28-17, Southeast of Saline leading at the break here on KINA.
Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knauf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knauf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knauf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Congratulations. You're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Kelly Kitchener today for a free personal protection review. When everything changes for you, visit Shelter Agent Kelly Kitchener.
At Commercial Tire Centers, we know you have many places to be and lots of things to see. Your tires are everything, and we are here to serve you. From the smallest lawnmower tire to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck and commercial tires, call Commercial Tire. Oil changes, suspension service, alignment, too many things to mention. The trusted tire experts are at Commercial Tire Center.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
PRP, or platelet-rich plasma injection therapy, has received quite a bit of attention since its use by many professional athletes. Professional football players like Peyton Manning and Jamal Charles have used PRP therapy for sports injuries and to avoid surgery. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete with millions of dollars for this cutting-edge therapy. PRP is available to you in the Salina Pain Clinic. Call the doctors for a consultation and see if this treatment is right for you. See them at 200 South 5th in the Salina Surgical Arts Center.
When termites strike your home or business, you want to fight back with the best. Hasman Termite and Pest Control to the rescue. With over 57 years experience, they offer the best of options, including the new BASF High Precision Injection Treatment. Don't let termites get you down. With one phone call to Hasman's, they can put one in the win column for you. Call Hasman Termite and Pest Control today or visit HasmanTermite.com and follow them on Facebook.
The winter season may be here, but paintball fun is still waiting for you at Elite Sports. Elite Sports Paintball Complex, located 5 miles south of Salina, is open for special winter hours. Get the group together and visit Elite Sports on Saturdays and Sundays this winter from 11 until 4. Elite Sports features low-impact paintballs for the beginners or little ones, so everyone can have more fun. Visit them online at SalinaPaintballComplex.com. Elite Sports Paintball Complex, open and waiting for you this weekend.
You're listening to Southeast Trojan Hoops on KINA.
Back here courtside, Sacred Heart High School Smith as we get ready for third quarter action, second half. 28-17 our score, Southeast of Saline leading, and it's the combination of Carson Slagner with 15, Maddie Harris with 11, Avery Eshelman with 2 free throws, and a 10-0 run to close the half. The Southeast of Saline was able to put together. They lead 28-17, leading the way for Sacred Heart. Tegan Slagle with 8. But Sacred Heart 7 of 13 from the free throw line. Southeast outscores them by 3 points at the line, but it's an 11-point lead for Southeast of Saline. After seeing that first half, Tyler, it's time now for your new image audio keys to success here in the second half.
I think it's much of the same. You know, we talked about the relationship, especially with Harris and Schlesner moving forward. But I think defensively, it's now how does Southeast play with the foul trouble they're in. You know, we've seen some new players. When I say new players, we've seen players getting more minutes in the first half than they've had before, and let's see if they can continue that success.
Slagner is going to continue her success as she drops a three-pointer on the right-hand side. First possession for Southeast of Saline, and now that run continues on. It's a 13-0 run for Southeast of Saline, but Sacred Heart's going to break that on the other end.
Well, I think one thing that needs to and there's a drive and a layup missed by Castleman, but one thing I think that Schlesner is excited to do after. I mean, she's had 2 poor games, you know, by her own admittance, besides having 17 last week, but she's used to being the best player on the court, and I think she's, the last 2 games perhaps hasn't displayed that. We know what she can do, and I think right now she's showing, who the best player is out here on this court.
Turnover by Sacred Heart. We'll give it back over to Southeast of Saline. 7:20 left to play. We have an update on Southeast of Saline wrestlers as they were in Minneapolis today for wrestling action. We'll get to that here at our next break in the action. Maddie Harris has it up top of the circle. She'll come off to the left-hand side. Castleman with a runner, and Avery drops that one home. Boy, that's not something we see often from Avery Castleman, but that was a nice little jump shot on the run.
It's great, and once Castleman starts establishing that she can hit that outside shot, as we know she can, all of a sudden that drive is open, and you're right, we don't see that floater from her much. Very, very crafty, very nice from the sophomore.
Foul on Mallory Pearson as Southeast of Saline pressing in the full court. That'll be Mallory's second foul. First foul for either team here in the third quarter. 33-19, excuse me. It's a 14-point advantage for Southeast of Saline once again.
And again, I think that minute's the longest we've gone without a foul called all night.
Yeah. Mendez inside, missed the first opportunity, got her second chance, and she goes up and scores. Boy, if Southeast could limit the second chance opportunities by Sacred Heart, this game would not even be close. Now a three-pointer by Mallory Pearson. That one comes off the rim. Slagner comes crashing in for the rebound, can't secure it. Now Sacred Heart going back the other way in transition. With the basketball across the equator is Ellie Woodall. Woodall now floats off to the right-hand side, plays it to Ella Gotti, and Gotti with a travel. Second turnover here for Sacred Heart.
And I think it's going to be extremely interesting to see how Southeast's pace kind of wears on Sacred Heart in the second half. You know, we talked about it. Sacred Heart played last night, the ACT this morning. This is a Southeast is always tough to play, especially, on back-to-back nights.
There's a foul now on Sacred Heart as Carson Slager was trying to get into the paint. She was kept out due to a hand check foul. This is going to be issued here to Ellie Woodall. That is her first personal. Foul on the floor. Southeast will inbound along their own baseline. Underneath their own basket, Yanakopoulos just shovels it into Pearson. Pearson on a guarded jump shot, can't get it to go. And the rebound will come back to the Sacred Heart Knights. Woodall back across the timeline, met by Pearson. She'll dance her off left, now come back near side to the right. Hand it off to Eligati. 5:57 left to go here, third quarter. 33-21. There's a traveling violation up top. Good defense there by Elena Yanakopoulos as she was all over Emily Everett, forcing the walk.
And I think Coach Smith is extremely happy. Anytime Emily Everett's 20-plus feet away from the bucket, that's a win for Southeast Saline. Anytime she's in the lane and she has the basketball, that's a problem. So anytime you can force her out, she's not used to being out there. Great defense by Yanakopoulos. Let's see if Southeast can take advantage of the turnover.
Avery Eshelman comes back into the game along with Madison Ehrlich. As right now, Keenan Thompson, the head coach for Sacred Heart, looking for a couple of answers and a spark off the bench. Here's a long shot put up by Yanakopoulos. That's no good. Rebound taken in underneath by Woodall. Woodall across the timeline. Right hand now back to the left-hand dribble. Here's a deflection by Pearson, taken away by Slagner. Carson out racing two Lady Knights. She's going to be fouled at the bucket, and back to the free throw line goes Carson Slagner. 18 points so far for Carson. She's going to have a chance to earn two more here back at the stripe on the third team foul for Sacred Heart.
When we're seeing Slagner's offense from all aspects, she's hitting outside shots, she's hitting shots down low, and then so much of her offense just comes from athleticism, making great defensive plays like that and taking it to the bucket.
Tegan Slagle guilty of the foul. That is her first. Slagner missed the first free throw. She will get another. Lexi Jacobson into the game for Southeast of Saline. Second free throw by Slagner's up and good. Already 4 points here in this quarter, 19 for the game. 34-21, near steal by Castleman. Avery pokes it out of bounds on the sideline. Sacred Heart will inbound. Looking at extended zone defense again here by Southeast of Saline. Slagner and Harris up top. Sacred Heart works it into the corner. Woodall with a three. That's no good. Rebound Jacobson, long outlet. Here comes Slagner on the break. Three Knights chasing her. She goes knives right between them. Gets caught in the middle of the lane. Puts a runner up that's no good. And now a rebounding foul will be called underneath as Mallory Pearson hits the deck along with Ellie Woodall. The foul will go against Sacred Heart on Eligati.
Well, Devin, Mallory Pearson had zero right to have that basketball. Mm-hmm. She just fights. She fights. She plays extremely well defensively. Her intensity level is always at 10 out of 10. We don't call her name a lot because she doesn't score a lot, but she does all the nasty things. And right there, huge opportunity for Southeast.
Harris has it on the left wing. She'll draw the defense, kick it out to Slagner. Three-pointer on the way, rips the cords as Slagner gets her second three of the third. A 16-point advantage now for SES. 37-21.
And again, you won't see it in the stat line, but that opportunity was caused by Mallory Pearson's just tenacity, getting the rebound, trying to force that ball, and everything that she did on that play.
That and Harris just collecting the defense around the free throw line, and then a nice little punch out there to Slagner. Almost knew it was coming. Up top now, defense, the intensity not relaxing for Southeast. 37-21. Here's a drive going to the baseline, and Mallory Pearson's going to pick up a foul as she was bumping Ellie Woodall to the baseline. So for Pearson, that'll be her third. Second team foul for Southeast.
Well, and I think it can't be easy playing defense for Coach Smith. She's screaming, too easy, too easy, too easy. All of a sudden, Pearson gets up in there and is called for the foul. That's one thing you got to love seeing from the Purple is that defensive intensity is always crucial and key to any of their successes.
Coach Smith didn't get after it at all on defense as she played. As you know, I mean, she just didn't play much defense.
The amount of film I've watched on her, everything started from the defensive side.
Also started here with a young man sitting next to us, too, with her dad, with Steve Reedy. That's where the defense came in.
Without a doubt.
Two free throws, but they're by Ellie Woodall. Here's Southeast in transition. Slagner wants another three. Can't get this one to go. Battle for the rebound underneath as Lexi Jacobson was in there. Had a chance at it. Cannot pull it away, and we're halfway through the third quarter. Lob pass inside, intended Looked like they were trying to get Emily Everett involved down low, and that ball's going to be deflected out of bounds. It will stay here with Sacred Heart with 3:57 left to go in the third.
And again, here we are in the first league game. Crucial third quarter stretch, and we got 3 freshmen on the court for Southeast of Saline.
And Brielle Potachik's going to chase a loose ball into the backcourt, looking underneath the basket now. She's going to find Slager for a 12-foot super silky soft jump shot. And Slager gets it off the assist from Brielle Potachik. Well, that was nice. Brielle could have easily gave up on that basketball, but she didn't. She won the foot race to get there. Ends up in 2 points for Southeast. Back to their biggest lead of the game, 16 points, and another deflection out of bounds. Nothing easy for Sacred Heart right now on offense.
No, it looks like Southeast is clicking offensively and defensively. It looks like the rotations are going well defensively, and I know that's something that was stressed over and over the last 3 days at practice, just getting those defensive rotations down.
Sacred Heart trying to inbound it underneath their own basket. Loose ball. Lexi Jacobson poked it away. Tried to pull it out of there. Aaron's shot goes up. Slager now off and running. 3-on-2 break. Slager trying to thread the needle to Castleman on the left-hand side of the bucket, and that one got deflected, and now 2 players tie it up. Mendez and Yannikopoulos hit the deck. They get up and pat each other on the shoulder. The arrow will give the basketball to Sacred Heart.
Well, the transition bounce pass is always tough. The bounce slows the ball down. Great vision by Schlesner. Maybe a chest pass is going to be more difficult to catch. She went with the bounce pass, slowed the ball down. Sacred Heart took advantage of it and got the steal.
3:25 left to go in the third. 16-point lead here for Southeast. Mendez inside, got stuck with it. Now she's going to find a teammate knifing through the lane. Now back up top to Woodall. She's going to drive, dump it off inside. A beautiful pass to Mendez, and Evie Mendez is going to score her second basket of the third quarter.
Great finish by Mendez. A lot of contact, a lot of steps, 0 whistles, and that's all that matters.
Brielle Potachik open for 3. She got it to go. That's Brielle's second three-pointer of the year. And she just got it to go from the top of the circle, just a shade left, and a timeout will be called. It's a full timeout. We'll take it as well. 2:57 left to go. Check that. It's just a 30. We'll still step away. 30-second timeout. Back with more Lady Trojan basketball brought to you by Salina Ortho here on KINA.
The Appliance Center. It's where you go to shop for washers, dryers, kitchen appliances, furniture, pellet grills, TVs, and so much more. If you are looking for a local, family-owned business, visit the Appliance Center. We're in the big red and white building on South Broadway in Salina. Come experience the Appliance Center difference.
This is Trojan basketball on KINA.
Back here at Sacred Heart High School, we have an update from Minneapolis today where the Southeast of Saline Trojan wrestlers had a good showing. Matthew Rodriguez, first place. Mac Chambers, second place. Eli Jackson, second. And Slade Johnson, a third. The team places sixth. As the Southeast of Saline wrestlers, a good showing today at Minneapolis. Glad to see they got action in on the mats today in Lionland. 42-25, our score here. Southeast of Saline hits the floor with 2:49 left to go in the third quarter. With Potachik, Harris, who's back into the game, Castleman, Jacobson, and Yannikopoulos. For the first time out this season is Carson Slager taking a break.
And I'm tired.
You may have to go over and tell her how to act on the bench. She probably doesn't know what to do right now.
Junior, this might be one of a handful of times she's gotten a breather.
2-pointer up by Sacred Heart on the inside. And now a foul on the other end as Brielle Potachik went to the baseline on a drive. And Brielle will get to go to the free throw line.
Tell you what, Devin, Potachik's offensive mind is great to see. Right there, she knew she was in trouble. You see a lot of players, let alone a freshman, try to force that ball into someone. She went up, knew she had contact, drew the foul, and now at the free throw line for 2.
There's almost kind of a mad chemistry type thing going on with Southeast of Saline right now. When you can put players in their freshman season like Brielle Potachik into the game, then all of a sudden you look and she knocks down a three-pointer. She goes back down the next inch. She gets to the line. She hits both free throws. She has 5 points. Same thing happened on Tuesday night with Lexi Jacobson. She gets her first varsity action. She ends up with 14 points.
The IQ is extremely high. Once that IQ matches what Coach Smith wants, we keep talking about the expectations. The expectations are now. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what these girls can do. Let's have 4 years of fun at these freshmen. There's more of them on the bench that could play. This will be a lot of fun.
Jacobson in there. for that rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball situation. We'll come back to the arrow on the alternate possession, and we'll go to southeast of Saline. So give credit again to Brielle Potocik and Lexi Jacobson, a couple of freshmen in there battling. By the way, southeast of Saline right now enjoying their biggest lead of the game of 17 points, 44-27, as we go under the 2-minute mark in the third quarter. Potocik with the basketball after the pass from Harris. They go to Castleman. She'll take it up from 3. Off the front of the rim, can't get it to go. And now another battle for the rebound. It's going to end up with Sacred Heart taking it on the baseline with Tessa Young. Boy, it just seems like Avery just needs a little more lift on that shot. She's hitting the front of the rim an awful lot.
She does, and once that starts going, this offense is really, really magical. Looked like a walk right there by Woodall, not called.
Jacobson runs it down over near the Sacred Heart bench. Now plays it back middle of the floor to Maddie Harris. Harris tried a long pass to Leniana Coppolis, and that got knocked out of bounds. It will stay with southeast of Saline on the sideline inbounds. 1:21 left to play here in the third. The Sacred Heart team 2-0. Southeast of Saline 0-2, though they've played two very tough teams to open the season with Heston and also Smoky Valley, who returned all 5 starters from a year ago. Smoky Valley, by the way, won again last night on the girls' side. They were able to defeat Concordia 56-27, so that Smoky Valley team, no joke.
Yeah, I think as we start to look at strength of schedule, I mean, Smoky Valley and Heston are going to do some damage, and we might not look at those as such bad losses, as this goes on. You never, we discussed this earlier on, you don't want to be 0-2, but this schedule is brutal for boys and girls, and I think we're showing right now. I mean, would you rather be 0-2 against those two teams or 2-0 against, what Coach Flax and Coach Smith are trying to build on? It's not about records. It's about, how you're improving.
Boy, a beautiful inbounds play, ran to perfection. Ends up with Slagner knifing through the paint and finishing with her left hand on the runner. And another 2 points for Carson Slager, who's had a really good third quarter so far, scoring the basketball. Underneath, there's a shot that's going to be partially blocked, but also a foul committed by Lexi Jacobson. And this will be a chance for Sacred Heart to distance themselves from maybe getting 20-pointed here in the third quarter. To the free throw line will be Tegan Slagle. 8 points. She leads the way tonight for the Knights. It's the first time I've done it tonight. It's this afternoon. Free throw up and good.
The tally mark is at 1. The over-under is at 4.5 for those of you at home. So we're at 1.
The curtains are pulled on the windows. You really don't have any idea what's going on outside. I know it's not sunny and nice outside right now, but, yeah, let us go one time there. So doing better than what I thought I would. Second free throw up after the first one went in. This one also rattles home. And double digits right now for Tegan Slagle. 46-29, under a minute left to go here, third quarter. Potocik, little bounce pass inside to Ashlyn Johnson, who's seen her first action. She got caught with the travel of the basketball. That is the first turnover for southeast of Saline here in this third quarter.
That's impressive.
Yes.
It's that just anytime you can secure the basketball and you're getting shots, it's going to give yourself more opportunities. Your offense clicks then.
Slagner steps over on help side defense. Still stubborn, though, about that shot attempt is Ellie Woodall. She's going to step into Ashlyn Johnson, who came over to help, and that'll be the first foul on Johnson.
And a great move down there by Woodall. Johnson got over there late. We saw her with the body. Woodall's been impressive. She's able to, really maneuver herself down low. She's creating a lot of bad situations for the Southeast defense.
Woodall misses the first. She has 8 points right now. Avery Castleman back into the game. Mallory Pearson out. Remember, Mallory nursing a little bit of foul trouble here. She's done a good job playing with 3 fouls, but I want her to pick up 4 here in the third quarter. Second free throw on the way. That one also too strong, no good. And Castleman fresh into the game, collects the rebound. Avery down the middle of the floor, now finds Maddie Harris off to her left-hand side. Southeast may want to play for one last shot here with the clock running down to 20 seconds. Harris sprints off to the right-hand side, now hands it up to Slagner. Slagner will back it all the way up to the timeline. Slagner being guarded by Ellie Woodall. Now off to Brielle Potocik. Potocik's had a really good third quarter. Over to Maddie Harris. Now back to Slagner. Ashlyn Johnson. Clock down to 4. Now to Harris. Back to Slagner. Guarded 3 at the buzzer. Won't go. And the ball up in the air as the time goes out. 46 points now on the board for southeast of Saline. 29 for Sacred Heart. We'll be back with fourth and final quarter action after this. You're listening to Southeast of Saline Lady Trojan Basketball.
When you value something, you take care of it the best way you know how. Here at Home Automotive, we value our Central Kansas community, and we take care by offering excellent personal service. The best selection on new Chevrolets, Buicks, Cadillacs, and GMCs, and a simple and fun purchase process. There's a reason people pass by other dealerships to come to Home Automotive. It's how we care for them. Come on over to Home Automotive in Abilene on North Buckeye or Salina at South Ohio. You'll be glad you did.
Exit 14 Restaurant in Gypsum, Kansas is cooking up something amazing today. Whether you want to order from our menu or try one of our delicious daily specials, Exit 14 adding a salad bar to their mix. Try one of the scrumptious desserts. Exit 14 is open for lunch Tuesday through Saturday and dinner Thursday through Saturday. Head out to try Prime Rib Night last Saturday of the month and open for Chicken Dinner Day on the first Sunday of the month. Exit 14, 512 Maple, Gypsum, Kansas. Good food, good people, great time.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Hoops on KINA.
Back for the fourth and final quarter action. Big lead for Southeast of Saline's girls, 46-29. Our score in a Saturday matinee action here in Salina. Sacred Heart starts out with the basketball, and it's stolen away by Ashlyn Johnson. That is turnover number 5. And now a steal by Sacred Heart as they take it right back, and a foul will be called on Southeast of Saline. Leading all scorers right now with 11 points in that third quarter is Carson Slagner. She has a total of 26, and that is one off of her career high. She had 27 last year in a game against Russell. She did score 26 points against Sacred Heart her freshman season. Free throw by Tegan Slagle is up and good. She's leading the Lady Knights right now with 11. She's the only Knight in double digits. Second free throw on the way. Hits the front of the rim, no good, and a rebounding foul will be called against the Knights as Eleni Anacopoulos in there had position, and Kelsey Jake pushed her in the back. Third foul on Jake. Also, Emily Everett, by the way, 4 fouls on her. They're going to call that on Everett. Here's a long shot for Southeast of Saline. Slater tried to save it as she put her foot up on the wall. She did a good job, but the official had to call it after she made contact with the wall.
And Carson knew she did it, and the late whistle kind of made it a little comedic moment with Harris and Schlazer running back. She said, I put my foot on the wall.
7.5 left to go here at Sacred Heart's gym. Biggest lead of this game so far for Southeast has been 19 points. Right now it's a 16-point spread. As Southeast looking for their first win of the season, also the first win in a league game. Sacred Heart somehow gets a shot up. A little sloppy action by both teams right now. And finally, a Lady Knight steps out of bounds on the baseline. They'll turn possession back over to Southeast of Saline.
Well, Devin, as there's an errant whistle right here. What a fun weekend it's been. Yesterday you had Salina South versus Salina Central. Today Southeast for Sacred Heart. I know it wasn't originally how it was scheduled to go, but it's great to see 4 area schools, all in similar classes in the same leagues, just going at it. It's been a fun weekend. I don't know what a lot of people were doing last night if they were Southeast or Sacred Heart fans, but I know I was watching, that Central South doubleheader. A lot of great basketball being played in the Salina area.
Yep, boys game went into overtime. It was a great one. South ended up winning that game. Game played in the 60s. You get that many points, it's always fun. Here's an errant ball coming towards the scores table, but Reagan gets there to fish it out. It had a little housekeeping work at the scores table also. I mentioned that Emily Everett had 4 fouls. I didn't think that was right, and the official came over and did correct the scores table. So Everett still with 3 fouls. Remember, she picked all 3 of those up in the first half of the first quarter, and she has played with them. She actually got tagged with a foul on the scoreboard errantly that belonged to somebody else. It was Kelsey Jake's 3rd foul. So Emily Everett continues on with 3 fouls, not 4, for Sacred Heart. 6:31 left to go. If you followed all that, stick around. We got more for you to figure out. We should have a really good boys game this afternoon also, coming up in game number 2.
Without a doubt, and I think, Sacred Heart will always be Sacred Heart. It doesn't matter.
Slagner with a 3.
We'll let Schlazer interrupt me.
And that for a new career high, she has every right to. That's 29 points now for Carson Slagner, a new career high. Remember, she had at least 20 in 10 different games last year, so being over 20 is no strange thing to her, but she has a chance today to get 30.
And this is a brand new Carson Slater that we've seen this season. It's the exact same one we watched last year, but she's just been on a tear tonight. She's a young lady with a mission. She knows how important league games are, and I think she knows that a league title is probably the number 1 goal of this team, and from that you build on and you see what you can do. But number 1, you got to win your league games.
Well, and we know how important just this matchup is, too, between Sacred Heart and Southeast of Saline. I know Southeast, as you said, went through a little bit of growing pains in the first 2 games against some really good competition, so they were eyeing this 2-0 Sacred Heart team as a team that they could get right, and especially without a game on Tuesday. The game against Abilene has been scrubbed for now. They have a state-ranked Hillsboro team waiting on them next week on the girls' side.
And you're exactly right. I mean, this game is huge, and, coaches kind of take it, a different way. And I know that Coach Smith takes it as, these are games that you're going to remember. I mean, these are games against your rivals. I heard Coach Fear talk about his Central girls playing South. Like, you're going to have some nerves, but this is the game that you'll remember the rest of you don't want to say the rest of your lives, but these are games that stick with you. I mean, this is your rival. Go out and do something. Go to do something special, and right now Carson Slager is doing that.
Slager unleashes a 3. That one hits off the front of the rim. Sacred Heart, after a scrum, gets the rebound. Now all the way down coast to coast. They'll kick it out to Gotti for a 3, and she gets that one off the front of the rim as well. Now a loose ball on the backside. It's going to be picked up and secured by the Sacred Heart Knights. They'll keep it on their offensive end. Ellie Woodall has it. She works from the middle of the floor. Now back to the right. Get pass over the defense, and a shot put up that is no good. And look at Brielle Potachik in there yanking the rebound out. Brielle's going to run the break here in the middle of the floor. She ends up with a 3-on-2. Was looking down low for a teammate. Looked like she was trying to find Avery Castleman, but tried to pull the string on it and yank it back at the last minute. Got caught with a travel.
Potachik had it's almost like she was just looking for an option to open up. Nothing opened up, and then she got herself in trouble just getting a little bit too deep. Great play defensively by the freshman. Maybe get the ball up earlier, and see what can happen from the offensive side.
49-31 our score. 5:06 left to go here in the fourth quarter. First game of our doubleheader here in the girls' contest. Back into the game for Sacred Heart is Kiera Cochran. She's running the point right now for the Knights. Cochran has it. Passes to the right-hand side to Gotti. Now back up top of the circle. They swing it left, and a traveling violation will be called over on the left-hand side for Sacred Heart. Their 6th turnover of the second half. Pearson, Slagner, Yanakopoulos, Brielle Potachik, and Lexi Jacobson on the floor currently for Southeast of Saline. 49-31. Slagner whips it right-hand side to Potachik. Now they'll play it back up top to Yanakopoulos. Look at Jacobson battling inside. I know post player probably isn't her original spot and what she's done her whole life so far, but boy, she battles down low.
And you can hear the coaches saying, get away, get away.
Yep.
They don't want a post player in there too long. I think they want to post a flash. They want her on the high post. She's doing a great job of filling that void. It'll be interesting to see, as she grows more comfortable with that position, what she can do.
Wide open motion offense right now for Southeast of Saline. Slagner burns her defender, goes to the lane, puts a shot up, no good. And the ball batted out of bounds by Sacred Heart. It will stay with Southeast of Saline on their own baseline. Quickly back into the game. She didn't spend much time out as Ellie Woodall for Sacred Heart. Also with her is Avery Eshelman, the freshman for Sacred Heart. 4:10 left to play, 49-31.
Well, I'll tell you what, going back to Jacobson playing that high post, I know she hasn't made the splash that she did in her debut, scoring-wise. But what she's done is she's occupied that high post. She's letting, the Southeast perimeter players kind of work their magic and do their thing. And that's not, it's something else that's not going to be seen in the stats, but that's huge for Southeast offense.
Yanakopoulos for 3 off the left-hand side. That's Elena's first basket of the day. And she splashes a 3 home from the left wing on the kick from Slagner. 52-31. The first 20-plus margin we've had today. And up until that three-pointer by Elena, we were starving for points. The first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter was just 3-2 Southeast of Saline. Now 52-31. Here's a long shot, top of the circle, put up by Ellie Woodall. And she's going to score that. And now a timeout will be called by Sacred Heart. 3:21 left to go here in this one, 52-34. Southeast of Saline leading Sacred Heart. It's a full timeout. We'll take it. Southeast of Saline Lady Trojan basketball here on KINA.
At home or on the road, K4 Garage will keep you moving. With over 12 years of mechanic experience, owner Nick Trout will diagnose and repair your engine to keep you in the game. Full-service gas, diesel, or tires. K4 Garage also has a fully stocked convenience store with snacks and drinks. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, Saturday from 9 until 3. Trust K4 Garage with keeping you on the road. And if it has oil, they can change it at K4 Garage in Gypsum.
Hi, this is Amanda with Accessible Home Care. Accessible Home Care is proud to be your locally owned Central Kansas Home Health Agency. We are proudly serving patients within 100 miles of Salina from our Salina, Junction City, and Minneapolis offices. Whether it be skilled nursing or therapy needs or helping our patients with day-to-day tasks, call us today to learn more about how our services can keep you or your loved ones healthy at home. Check out our website at accessiblehc.com. Accessible Home Care, where our communities are our priority.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Basketball on KINA.
Out of the timeout, full court pressure here by Sacred Heart, trying to get Southeast of Saline to turn the basketball over. Slagner, though, in the middle, dumps it off at the last minute to Jacobson. Lexi lost the basketball, but she was also knocked to the floor, and a turnover here for Southeast of Saline, as the official says that was out of bounds for Southeast of Saline. Maddie Harris will come back into the game, and she will replace Reagan Getz. 3:11 left to go. I think it's worth mentioning also, Tyler, you look at a 16-6 Southeast of Saline team last year. A lot of people forget, and I think it's just because of the previous dominance that Southeast has had on the girls' side over Sacred Heart. 2 of those 6 losses came to Sacred Heart a year ago.
They did. If you look at the standings, Southeast was only a game or 2 from winning a league title last year, and these are huge games. I mean, this is the reason why that Beloit walked away with the league title last year.
Well, you saw the hops that Avery Eshelman, the freshman for Sacred Heart's working with there. She got 2 rebounds and was able to put it back up and in for the Sacred Heart Knights. She's just setting on some springs, already 6'1", and she can jump. That's
dangerous.
Encouraging for the future, yeah.
Without a doubt. I know Eshelman's a girl that a lot of the Southeast girls have played with, on some of their summer teams. They speak really highly of her, and you can tell why. I mean, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, not only this year, but as she matures, going to be really good.
Timeout Southeast of Saline. They seem to be a little bit out of funk here offensively. 52-36 is our score, and it's a full timeout. We will take it. You're listening to Southeast of Saline Lady Trojan Basketball, and it's brought to you by Salina Ortho. Your voice, your choice.
Suburban Appliance Center is your official dealer for Traeger grills. Check out this 6-in-1 versatile unit that grills, bakes, smokes, roasts, braised, and barbecues. Suburban is your exclusive dealer for the Traeger Timberline series, and they have your Traeger spices too. Suburban Appliance Center, they are locally owned and they offer appliance brands like Amana, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and of course Maytag. Suburban also offers exceptional service. Suburban Appliance Center, 1900 South 9th.
Home matters. That's why at Kansas Wesleyan, we've offered new scholarships designed to help you get a great education right here in Salina. The Saline County Scholarship is a $70,000 award for any new undergraduate student who resides in or comes from a school in Saline County. There's also the Ad Astra Scholarship, a $60,000 award for any new students who are Kansas residents. For more information, please visit kwu.edu/admissions. That's kwu.edu/admissions.
You're listening to Southeast Trojan Hoops on KINA.
Out of the timeout, Sacred Heart comes out with some high intensity on defense. They're working their tails off here on the last 2:09 left in this game. They're trying to work their way out of a 21-point deficit, currently trailing by 16. But Southeast just doesn't seem very interested in giving the basketball back or even forcing things inside of the three-point line right now. All 5 Southeast of Saline players out up high above the free throw line, just working the ball around on a passing game type of offense, melting that clock away and trying to secure their first victory of the season. Slagner now drives to the lane. She collects the defense, now kicks it back out. Maddie Harris will reset it up top to Brielle Potacek. Boy, what's it say about your confidence in a couple of freshman guards right now as you're trying to melt the game away and secure it here with both Harris and Potacek on the floor?
It shows that these are the girls you want on the floor. They both have sweet strokes if they're able to get to the charity stripe, and they're both really, really good handling the ball. As you see, the leader of the pack right there, Slagner, on her way to the free throw line after getting fouled.
She was fouled by Ella Gotti, a 1-and-1 coming up. That's the 7th team foul for Sacred Heart. And Carson has that one rattle out, so she's still stuck on 29.
And she's left quite a few of them on the free throw line.
Yeah. Southeast as a team, 13 of 18 from the charity stripe. Here's Sacred Heart now driving into the paint. A little runner put up, no good. Brielle Potacek brings out the rebound, looks over her shoulder, and there's Carson Slager waiting in the wings.
And I'll tell you, that's one of the great things about both these teams. You can tell just what these coaches are doing. This game's, it's over. But they're not done coaching. these are great coaching moments for these kids. And like you said, like with these, you have 2 freshman guards that are going to be handling the ball a lot. You cannot simulate this anywhere in any practice. This is real life. This is game life. Let's see what, they can do, in clutch situations.
Southeast continues to run the clock down. Here's a backdoor cut by Brielle Potacek. Carson Slager finds her, and she's going to be fouled. Potacek will go to the free throw line, has 5 points this afternoon, and she will look for 2 more on a shooting foul. We honestly don't know either, as we said here this afternoon, Tyler, about how the NCAA is going to shape up. I mean, we could be looking at the 2 best teams in the league here today. We don't know. Russell is out of the league now. I mean, I think that's worth noting, especially on the girls' basketball side. Beloit hasn't got a game in yet. Minneapolis, they lost last night, or actually beat Solomon by 8. The Lady Lions seem like they're always kind of in the mix somewhere. Republic County, I mean, you don't ever know what you're going to get out of the Lady Buffalo, so we just don't know where the NCAA is at right now. We could be looking at the 2 contenders here.
Well, and I think if you just look at what happened last season, and you kind of if you just look at rosters, I think you have to say that these are 2 of the top 2 teams in the league. Like you said, Beloit's always going to be there, but they lost a lot. They still haven't played this season, like you were saying. And goodness gracious, Republic County is always a dark horse. That best home court advantage in the league. I mean, you travel up there. Goodness. I mean, you need to find a hotel to sleep in by the time you get there. But they defend their home court extremely well. They have one of those great bands that plays on their stage and just rocks the gym. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we don't know how many games are going to get in. I mean, who knows what you're going to be able to do? Who knows when all of a sudden someone's going to be quarantined and not be able to play? You got to take advantage of every opportunity.
Final seconds of this one, Sacred Heart's waving the surrender flag, and Southeast of Saline's going to get the victory on a Saturday afternoon in Salina. 52-36, the final score. Southeast of Saline made it look fairly easy in this game. They only trailed 1 time. That was early on in the second quarter by a single point. And they had a lead as big as 21 points at one time, and they go on for the victory 52-36. When we come back on postgame, we'll check numbers for you. Also have a Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game. It's all coming up here as we put the cap on this one and turn the corner to game number 2 of our doubleheader. It's coming up, the transition between games. Southeast Lady Trojans win it 52-36 right here on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach, right off Crawford, and their second location in the Central Mall in Salina, and a new location in McPherson, based on honesty and trust. Contact L&L Advisors today.
'Twas prior to Christmas, and all through the land, husbands were nervy, for no gift had been planned. The lady so precious will certainly sneer. Thank goodness, Vernon Jewelers is here. Save 20% off store-wide and personalize anything with custom hand engraving, not limited to jewelry. Leaving the store, he gloats with a smile because of Vernon's. I bet she'll keep me a while. Vernon Jewelers, 123 North Santa Fe, downtown Salina, where it's the little things that matter since 1884.
One call will do it all. With Will, there's a way.
If you stand in front of your electrical panel and you see the old type screw-in fuses or breakers that haven't even been made since the 1950s, maybe it's time you give Will Electric a call and let me come out and give you an estimate to update your electrical service. Call Will Electric, 823-8286.
One call will do it all. With Will, there's a way.
Okay, Coach, thank you for your breakdown on your offense and defense. Now here's Winnell Garrettson, your real estate coach for buying and selling.
Hi, fans. It's Winnell Garrettson from SalinaHomes.com, and I'm here to coach you up in your real estate game plan. Now is a great time to list your house, land, or investment. Or if you're in the buying mood, I'd love to help you find just the right real estate opportunity for you. And as always, go Trojans.
Buy or sell, call Winnell at SalinaHomes.com.
Time now for the Trojan postgame show on KINA. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan basketball on KINA.
Back here on postgame, brought to you by L&L Advisors with 3 locations. Year end is right around the corner. If you have some tax questions or just need some good solid advice, contact L&L Advisors. 3 locations, 2 of them in Salina, One off Roach and Crawford right over by Salina Stadium. The other one, Salina Central Mall next to Joanne Fabrics. And their newest location on South Main in McPherson, LNL Advisors. Our postgame report is headed up by Carson Slagner, a new career high for the junior guard for Southeast of Saline. She had 15 points at halftime, nearly had the same in the second half, unable to convert the front end of a 1-and-1 that would have put her over 30, but she ends up with a new career high of 29 points tonight, leading Southeast of Saline. Maddie Harris had 11. That's a new career high for her. She did all that work in the first half. 5 points for Brielle Potachik off the bench tonight, 4 for Avery Castleman, and 3 for Elena Yanakopoulos. For the Sacred Heart Lady Knights, they were led in today's game by Ellie Woodall. 12 points for her, 11 for Tegan Slagle, 4 for Emily Everett, 3 for Ella Gotti, 4 off the bench for Evie Mendez, and 2 for Avery Eshelman. Free throw shooting almost even tonight in this game. I did it again. I said tonight. 13 of 20 for Southeast of Saline. 13 of 23 for Sacred Heart. So very close at the free throw line. It was not close, though, turnover-wise. Tyler tonight, the key in the game. Sacred Heart commits 17 turnovers. Southeast of Saline with 8 on their way to a 52-36 victory.
Well, yeah, and we talked about the key to success would be Southeast perimeter play and just how everybody gelled. And, like we alluded to at the beginning of the game, at halftime, after the first quarter, after the third quarter, Harrison Schleisner gelled extremely well. And everybody, there's just too much pressure on the perimeter for Sacred Heart to handle. Southeast knew that if, Sacred Heart was able to get the ball down low into the paint, they were in trouble. We saw Sacred Heart succeed early on doing that. Some great adjustments made, from Coach Smith. And, defensively, that's where it all starts with this Southeast team. If they're able to keep teams from scoring in the paint, they can play with anyone. In their first 2 losses, we obviously saw Ellsworth just absolutely clinical, with the amount of easy buckets they were able to hit. And not only hit, but able to get open. And then a Smoky Valley team that hits 10 threes, it's always tough to defend that. But you could see that Sacred Heart had a goal of getting the ball down low, got Southeast into a lot of foul trouble. But once Southeast was able to, adjust to that and force Sacred Heart's guards to play, it was kind of the end of it. Sacred Heart, they're great down low, but right now, their strength is not up top. It's not at the perimeter. And they're going to grow. They're going to get better. We know that for sure. But tonight, definitely Southeast key to success was, I want to say on the defensive side, just how well their guards were playing the Sacred Heart guards.
Absolutely. On the way to a 52-36 victory tonight's Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game. Southeast of Saline's Carson Slagner, 29 points for Carson, a new career high. Right now, when you go to Vernon Jewelers, expect at least 20% off store-wide. Other deals better than that as they get prepared for the holidays. Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game for this afternoon's contest. Carson Slagner, 29 points, a new career high. Southeast of Saline wins at 52-36. Next game for the Lady Trojans. It will not be on Tuesday. Abilene will be on campus, but no girls basketball on Tuesday. Their Abilene girls team is unable to play. It'll be a boys contest only on Tuesday, so the next contest for Southeast of Saline will be on the road on Thursday before we take the holiday break, and that will be against a state-ranked Hillsboro squad. Southeast of Saline moves to 1-2. They're 1-0 now in the NCAA. Sacred Heart to 2-1. They're 0-1 now in league play. 52-36 the final. Southeast of Saline's girls win it. Coming up next, game number 2 of our doubleheader this afternoon. We'll see Sacred Heart take on the Southeast of Saline boys. Make the transition to that. Coming up after the break, we will talk to Bryson Flax, head coach of the Southeast of Saline Trojans. It's all coming up. Pre-game's brought to you by Comfort Heating and Air in Salina and Clay Center here on KINA.
Seasons are changing, and that means colder weather is on its way. Don't be caught off guard. Call Comfort Heating and Air now to make sure your furnace is ready when you need it. We sell American-made York products manufactured right here in the Midwest, so you know you'll get fast, friendly service without the wait.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Family, integrity, service, and opportunity. These are the guiding values that drive our company. That's what makes us different at United Capital Management. We know your history, your family. We celebrate with you and support you during life's many events. It's more than money. It's about relationships we can build for years and years. Let us customize a plan specific for you so that you can pursue your goals. Call 785-823-7900 or visit ucmofkansas.com to speak with an advisor and learn firsthand what UCM can do for you.
Bryson Flax joins us now on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report. We look back at the first win of the season against Smoky Valley on your home court Tuesday night. Coach, you get the big victory 65-37 over the Vikings, and a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and then a big second quarter for you. Gave you a 7-point lead at the break. What was your conversation with the guys and your thoughts after that first half?
You know, I thought we were doing some good things. We just weren't finishing plays, really, and you know, we gave them some extra opportunities just because we weren't we were in position defensively. We didn't have our eyes on the ball and our man, you know, and we're getting a little lost and giving them some easy ones. You know, but I kept telling them, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll be all right. You know, clean those little things up, and then, you know, get them, force them to 1 and out and get on the run. So I thought we did a nice job doing that.
You mentioned to me just kind of a point of emphasis, and this dates back to last year, coming out of the locker room and taking the second half strong as you start the third quarter. And you guys were able to do that. You went on a 24-8 third quarter run that really helped you pull away in this game. And we saw the evolution of team basketball come back to the floor as everybody, it seemed like, would get out on the break, everybody would touch the ball, everybody would score. We talked about that being fun, but just the mentality of when you break the locker room and come out for the third quarter, it's game on.
Yeah, and it's got to be. And unfortunately, that's not really on me. You know, that's on these guys, and it starts with guys like Jackson and Brian and Eli and you know, Grant and Cam and those guys, because you know, I tell them I can't give you energy. You know, you got to bring your own energy. You know, I can hoorah you to death, but that might, you know, who knows? You know, they got to bring their own energy, and they got to hold one another accountable. And you know, I think they did that in the third quarter the other night, and it was fun to watch.
One of the guys that really shined in this game for you was Eli Harris, 20 points for him. But I don't think it really stops with the box score of points. There were so many other things that he did well in this game. Talk about Eli Sawyer's game and how he was able to get everybody involved.
Yeah, he passed the ball really well, and part of it was he'd grab a defensive rebound and kind of start the break, and guys would fill in. And you know, we practice, you know, on passing the basketball, you know, and making the right decisions when we have the opportunities. And I thought, like, his decision making, you know, I would have given it probably about a A-. I thought he was really good. And if he continues to do that, then others are, you know, obviously getting involved and things are flowing and we got a good rhythm. So I was happy for Eli. But it doesn't mean much to do it one time. You know, you got to continue to do it. So.
Playing defensively like you guys do, and I know sometimes it's hard to switch gears. We've seen it with the younger girls on the girls' side. You play so hard defensively, sometimes it's hard to idle down and be more under control when you have the ball on offense. I thought you guys played well because defensively the intensity was there, but you only had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, we did a nice job of taking care of the basketball. And, you know, Smoky's not as long as a team like Heston or looking forward to a team like tonight or Abilene next week. You know, those teams are long and athletic, and that'll be the true test to see how we handle that. But I did think we put a little more on our passes. We were meeting the basketball. We were doing the little things to not turn the basketball over. And, you know, like I said, decision-making in transition on the run, and I thought it was really good. So,
coming off of a win, now 1-1 on the season, you step in for a game that has more importance, not only because it's Sacred Heart, but also because this is your first league game. Talk about your goals this year in the league and also the Sacred Heart Knights. It just seems like they just keep reloading, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and they're pretty good, and especially, you know, on the defensive end and then their perimeter shooting. But league-wise, you know, we want to compete for it, you know, every year, and I think we've got a roster to compete for it. You know, but that you're right. You got to, no matter who it is, it's a league, you know, a conference game, a league game, and you got to come out ready to play because, you know, all of us teams know a lot about each other. You know, we know what we do, we know our tendencies, and so then it becomes who can be more disciplined and who can execute. And you know, I feel good about our position if we come to play.
Keys to success for your guys in this afternoon's game.
Man, we're going to have to keep them out of the paint. They do a good job of getting downhill, and you know, if you have to hold help for a step or two late or too long, then you're going to be late getting out to the shooters, and they can really shoot the basketball. But that and don't turn the ball over. So
sounds good. We'll enjoy it and talk to you after the game. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bryson Flax, head coach of the Southeast guys. His guys today, taking on the Sacred Heart Knights. Should be a good one. That's game number 2 of our doubleheader.
Seasons are changing, and that means colder weather is on its way. Don't be caught off guard. Call Comfort Heating and Air now to make sure your furnace is ready when you need it. We sell American-made York products, manufactured right here in the Midwest, so you know you'll get fast, friendly service without the wait.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comforts Heating and Air.
They're coming. Company is coming for the holidays.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And Addison.
The holiday season is right around the corner. Let Merry Maids take the stress out of your holidays and clean your house from top to bottom before your big event. Merry Maids furnishes all of our own cleaning supplies, and all of our work is guaranteed.
Call Merry Maids today to schedule your holiday cleaning before it's too late. Find us on Facebook. We're at merrymaids.com. Merry Maids in Salina and Abilene.
Merry Maids. Relax, it's done.
Frisbee Construction is a service organization for the commercial grain industry dedicated to giving you the best in planning, the best in quality, and the best of workmanship, and overall the best value for your dollar since 1949. Frisbee Construction specializes in new construction as well as remodel and repair of grain handling facilities throughout the Midwest. Frisbee Construction Company in Gypsum has emergency crews available as needed. For more information, go to frisbeeinc.com.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Led by orthopedic surgeons Drs. Timothy Hawks and Travis Rump and sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists, we are ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Basketball on KINA.
Back as we get ready for game number 2 of our doubleheader. Southeast of Saline comes in 1-1 after a victory over Smoky Valley on Tuesday. Last night, Sacred Heart got a victory over Rossville, 64-20. They also got a victory last Friday to open the season against El Saline, 79-21. This is a Sacred Heart team that has got off to a good start, playing 2 games in blowouts, and they will start Jacob Gormley, a 6'4 senior guard. They will also start Mason Richards, a 6'2 senior, Caleb Gilliland, a 6'1 senior, and Kobe Douglas, a 6'3 senior, along with Alex Disberger, a 6'4 junior. Disberger, the only non-senior in the starting lineup, but he's been their best scorer so far through the first 2 games. Alex Disberger last night against Rossville had 16 points and 7 rebounds. He also had 16 points against El Saline in the season opener, while Richards went for 18 in that season opener against El Saline. We'll have starting lineups for the Southeast of Saline Trojans, and also the inbounds pass to start this game when we come back. Still feels weird saying that. Inbounds pass to start this game when we come back. Southeast of Saline and Sacred Heart right around the corner this afternoon here on KINA.
Seasons are changing, and that means colder weather is on its way. Don't be caught off guard. Call Comfort Heating and Air now to make sure your furnace is ready when you need it. We sell American-made York products, manufactured right here in the Midwest, so you know you'll get fast, friendly service without the wait.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comforts Heating and Air.
Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
The human head weighs 10 pounds, but with TechNet, it can feel like 60 pounds. Dr. Cade Castleman here with Castleman Chiropractic. Screen slouch is a real problem for people of all ages these days. Our technology is affecting our posture, causing back problems, neck pain, and headaches. Call, book online, or stop in my Salina walk-in clinic every Thursday to learn how a simple chiropractic care plan will help you ease your pain, improve your sleep, and help you feel better every day.
Castleman Chiropractic in Salina, where caring comes first.
Don't get caught on empty. Fill up on all your basic needs at Aceria Oil and Hardware. We want to be sure all our Trojans are fueled up for the big game. Whether you're on the field or in the stands, start with a full tank of gas for your car or your belly. Get your favorite pizza and snacks to have enough stamina to get that Trojan win. Aceria Oil and Hardware, located in Aceria at the corner of Center and Main. We'll fill you up.
Okay, so insurance is something that we all need, but it really can be confusing. But did you know that there's an agency that you actually want to do business with? It's called Smart Insurance. The team at Smart Insurance can give you advice on what you need. And the most important part, they will help you understand everything related to your insurance coverage. Peace of mind and protection that you deserve. Smart Insurance, great to do business with and easy to find with 3 locations in Salina, Abilene, and Harrington. Get their number on Facebook and call them today.
Stardust Trophy in downtown Salina is your full-service headquarters for trophies and awards for club and sporting events. But did you know Stardust Trophies also makes employee name tags with your company logo? They engrave executive awards like desk clocks and pen desk sets. They imprint artwork and photos on t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, even personal calculators. Stardust Trophy carries clear sports ball holders on wood bases for treasured or autographed balls from footballs to golf balls. Go to Full Service Stardust Trophy, 121 South Santa Fe, downtown Salina.
Generations of confidence, relationships for life. Since establishing business in 1887, the Bank of Tuscany has built its reputation on personal service and community promotion. Family owned and locally operated in the communities of Tuscany, Lincoln, Salina, and Lynchburg. The Bank of Tuscany strives to provide customers with a competitive array of loan and deposit products that aid in their financial success. Visit us today and see why so many people have helped the Bank of Tuscany become one of the strongest banks in Kansas. Bank of Tuscany, member FDIC.
We're growing your way. We're the Bank of Tuscany.
The Southeast of Saline School District has a long-standing reputation for excellence. This excellence in public education has been a source of great pride and one of the factors contributing to the quality of life in our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation works in partnership with the USD 306 School District and the community that it serves to maximize student potential, thereby creating a lasting legacy, not only for our children, but for our community. The Southeast of Saline Education Foundation salutes the Trojan Sports Program.
A strong work ethic, takes pride in a job well done, sweats over the details. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a response. You need a callback. You need a job. Contact Express Employment Professionals. We can help because we understand what it takes to get a job. It takes more than just online searches to land a job.
Get to know Express Employment Professionals by calling 825-4545.
You're listening to Southeast Trojan Hoops on KINA.
Welcome back in as we round out pregame and look forward to the start of this one. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith, courtside here at Sacred Heart High School. Big Sam Pretty producing and engineering back at the KINA studios on South Ohio in Salina as Salina's Eagle Radio. Went over to the starting lineups for the Sacred Heart Knights. Once again to review that, Jacob Gormley, Mason Richards, Caleb Gilliland, Kobe Douglas, and Alex Disberger. Sacred Heart comes in. They're 2-0 on the season after blowout victories against El Saline and then last night against Rossville. For the Southeast of Saline Trojans, they will start Jackson Gebhardt, a 6-foot senior, coming off of a 14-point performance against Smoky Valley on Tuesday. His running mate in the backcourt will be Brian Banks, a 6-foot senior. Brian last season averaged 14 points a game, off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but he will ease his way in to this Southeast of Saline action on offense sooner than later, I'm sure. Camden Spano-Lund, a 5'8 senior, in the starting lineup, along with 6'4" sophomore Eli Sawyer. Sawyer's coming off of a 20-point performance against Smoky Valley on Tuesday. And sophomore Nakari Moracle Palmer will get the start tonight as well in the lineup for Southeast of Saline. I think it's worth noting the Trojans without Eli Harris tonight. He is unavailable for Southeast of Saline here in their game against the Sacred Heart Knights. And Tyler, when you look at this game, this is a familiar position, a familiar seat for us when we come to Sacred Heart. And in my 12 years of broadcasting southeast of Saline sports, it's hard for me to believe, but it's also kind of hard to say. I've never seen southeast of Saline's boys get a victory over Sacred Heart. What do they have to do this afternoon to make that change?
Well, I think in these rivalry games, it's always interesting to see who's going to step up, who's going to play that game that perhaps just comes out of nowhere. You know, a lot of times in these games, these kids grow up with each other. They grow up playing against each other. So all of a sudden that intimidation factor that perhaps you'd have against another team isn't there. So for Southeast to get the victory, it's who's going to show out, who's going to show up that normally you wouldn't count on. And, you know, we saw a similar thing happen last night with Salina South beating Salina Central for the first time in many years. I think you need a big game from someone you're not expecting it from, and we'll see who can deliver that from Southeast Saline.
Sawyers with the basketballs. We get started here. He drives from the right wing now to the elbow. Free throw line extended, and now a 3-second violation, as it was either Banks or Sawyers got caught there at the lane area. They were opposite ends. Banks was low post. Sawyers drove his way in right inside of the free throw line, and a 3-second violation is the first turnover of the game. It'll give the ball to Sacred Heart for the first time. Southeast spent about a half a minute on that possession. Comes away empty. Now the Knights here offensively. A little run and jump defense for Southeast of Saline. Sacred Heart gets rid of it. Tries to get it down low to Alex Disberger. And that ball intercepted by Bryant Banks. Here's Southeast of Saline off and running. And a charging foul called against Eli Sawyers, as he really came across the paint that time. Started out on the left-hand wing and then drove his way across the lane. Tried to finish with the right hand, but gets called for the charging violation.
Won a great job by Gormley staying in his position, but that's such a dangerous spot. You know, we see in college basketball and in the NBA they have the arc where you can take the charge. Gormley's underneath the basket. To me, that's something that high school's got to look into.
Yeah.
You're going to get players hurt. I mean, underneath the basket, getting that foul called on him, it's something that needs to be looked into.
Mason Richards drives the paint. He's going to kick it out for a three-pointer that is up and good for Caleb Gilliland. Gilliland rips the net from the left-hand wing, and Sacred Heart is off and running here, up 3-0. Brian Gormley, the head coach, here for the Knights in his third season, as is Bryson Flax for Southeast of Saline. Southeast wide open offense here against a Sacred Heart, very solid Sacred Heart man-to-man defense. Sawyers takes it to the free throw line, now passes it to Gebhardt along the baseline. Jackson has to step through a double team. He does so. His shot goes up in the air. Banks tips it out to Sawyers. Now out to Spano Lund for a three-pointer. That's no good, but Southeast again on offensive rebound for Bryant Banks. Here's Sawyers inside. He's going to knife his way between two defenders and is fouled. Eli Sawyers will go to the free throw line for two.
And we saw what Sawyers can do right there. I mean, right now, the height advantage, for the first time we've been able to say this in a couple of years, the Southeast has that on Sacred Heart. And I think that's going to be, again, crucial to see what the sophomore Sawyers can do against a physical Sacred Heart team, but an undersized Sacred Heart team.
Alex Disberger guilty of the foul. It's the first foul for Sacred Heart. Sawyers makes the first free throw. I thought Bryson Flax made an interesting point, too, as we reflected back to the game Tuesday against Smoky Valley. The Sacred Heart team here tonight, they're not tall, but they are long. They have long arms, and they get to the ball in the passing lanes very well.
Well, they're extremely long, and they're thick. I mean, this is a team that, I mean, there's some young men out there. I mean, there aren't boys. You look across the line, and this is a team that you would think would have had a lot of success in the football field. Obviously, not the case. But I mean, there's some young men out there that definitely put the work in, in the weight room.
Jacob Gormley tries to thread the needle down low, fires a pass deep into the paint, and bounces off the wall pad. Second turnover for the Sacred Heart Knights. 3-2 is our score. Sacred Heart hit a three-pointer on their second possession of the game. Since then, Southeast of Saline has scored. Now the Trojans have the ball back. Here's Gebhardt. Driving baseline, he'll collect the defense, kick it out to Banks for the three. That's no good. And Akari Morical-Palmer with the rebound on the backside. He plays it into Spano Lund in the lane. Now back over to Jackson Gebhardt on the left-hand side of the Southeast offense. Bryson Flax up off the bench, watching his offense. Brian Gormley working the ref in front of his bench. Southeast being very patient here, making this night team work on defense. Nakari to the lane. He'll play it out to Spano Lund, and a block from behind. Loose ball. Nakari comes up with it. He'll drive to the paint. He gets called for a traveling violation as he knocks it in off the window. The basket no good, and Southeast now back on defense.
So in only 3 minutes, you can tell that Nakari is going to be an issue for Sacred Heart. He does those dirty things. We talked about the girls' team with Mallory Pearson. A lot of things that he does aren't going to pop out on the stat sheet, but He is long, he is extremely athletic, and he's going to do a lot of those nasty things that a coach loves to see.
Here's an open two-pointer from the left-hand elbow that is up and good by Kobe Douglas. 5 points now for Sacred Heart, 2 for Southeast of Saline as we ease our way into this one. Already 3 minutes in. Camden Spano Lund will drive. He'll kick it out to Nakari for a three-pointer. That one's no good for Miracle Palmer, and off and running are the Sacred Heart Knights. Attacking the right-hand sideline all the way to the bucket. Now a charging foul on Sacred Heart. Eli Sawyer's incensed, got his charge back as he stepped in the path of Caleb Gilliland and collected the player control foul.
And you can see that coming from a mile away. Sawyer's, and it's always got to be tough from his direction. What do? You go up and challenge the rim? Right there, made the right decision. Feet were set. Great and gutsy defensive play from Sawyer's.
Full court pressure here by Sacred Heart. Jackson Gebhardt puts his head down, attacks the right-hand sideline, and it's a foul against the Knights.
And that's quickly 2 on Gilliland.
Yeah, that could be a big foul. Keep our eye on that situation as Caleb will come out and Gus Campa comes in for Sacred Heart. Gus will match up against Brian Banks, and another foul called. This one a turnover foul on Southeast of Saline as they got Nakari Miracle Palmer with a pick. Bryson Flax does not like that either, and he will be up off the bench now to have a conversation with the officials, as Brian Gormley was the previous position.
Well, and you alluded to Gormley having that conversation. I think that conversation directly led to that foul call. As we know, Coach Gormley, he does not stop working, whether it's with his players, whether it's on the officials. He's super intense. He's a super energetic. I mean, you got to love having a young man playing for him, but he just works and works and works, and got him a call there.
Disberger inside, got stuck, then he turned it over as Jackson Gebhardt stole it away. Jackson, a ball fake as he comes down the lane, turned his back to the basket, still almost got it to go. Now the miss tipped out to Brian Banks. Southeast has done a good job keeping their offensive ball alive with rebounds and tip-outs. Here's a three-pointer by Eli Sawyers that is no good. And now finally a defensive rebound by the Knights. 3:45 left to go first quarter. 5-2, Sacred Heart. Here's a three-pointer, dead away, top of the circle. That misses badly. And now back the other way comes Southeast of Saline. Nakari Miracle Palmer has it. Attack the baseline. Now he plays it back out to the middle of the floor. Camden Spano Lund has it. Now back to Jackson Gebhardt. Eli Sawyers now as all 5 guys touch it on offense here for the Trojans. Gebhardt in the corner. Fakes a three. He'll attack baseline inside a double team. Can't get it to go. Got his own rebound, though, and he goes back at it. That one won't go either. Boy, 3 bounces off that rim for Jackson Gebhardt, and the ball just not going down right now for Southeast of Saline. There's a three-pointer, left-hand wing for Sacred Heart that's no good. Brian Banks got the rebound, then he mishandled it as he was coming out of the trap. And now finally gets it out to Camden Spano Lund over on the left-hand side. 5-2 is our score. Here's a shot up for Southeast of Saline. That misses again. Boy, it just points at a premium right now in this one. Now a poke away by Camden Spano Lund. And a steal by Brian Banks. Off to Nakari. Back to Bryant to score. Beautiful transition break after the steal for Southeast of Saline. But quickly Sacred Heart coming back down the floor. Skip pass over the defense, and they throw it away. Gormley, a second turnover for him.
And a great job right there by Spano Lund. He was on the bigger player, Campa, down low in the paint, was able to poke the ball away, started that break. Great job giving it to Banks. We've seen Banks finish not only on the hardwood, we've seen him finish a lot on the gridiron. That's a finisher right there.
Drake Augustine in the game for Southeast of Saline, along with Luke Gebhardt. They'll join Sawyers, Banks, and Jackson Gebhardt. Also into the contest, a Sacred Heart Knight is Luke Gebhardt. Boy, looking like older brother there a little bit. Attacked baseline and reached back into the court of play and able to finish for 2. Nice move by Luke.
I can hear my high school coaches in my ear right now. If you can finish on the baseline, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
And right there, if you can hit a 15-footer or drive baseline, you're going to have a great career in basketball. And what a move by Gebhardt.
Here's Eli Sawyers in transition, flying down the floor. Had it poked out from behind. Now we go back the other way with Sacred Heart. Here's Gormley again trying that cross-court pass. This time it's going to be brought in, but stuffed at the backboard. And another attempt by Mason Richards to get it to go. 7-6 our score. Boy, second chance opportunities right now important on both ends. Here's Banks for 3, wide open. That's an air ball, no good, and it'll go out of bounds. That'll give Nakari Miracle Palmer a chance to check in. He'll give Jackson Gebhardt a break. In for Sacred Heart. He's been out there for about a minute and a half already. Is Michael Matucci. A brief lead by Southeast of Saline at 6-5, but then Sacred Heart got it back on the basket by Richards. Back out in front are the Knights, leading 7-6. Boy, this has been a quick-moving first quarter. 1:15 left to go. Here's Disberger up top. He's going to be checked by Banks, and lots of contact in the middle of the paint. And they're going to say, what are they going to say here? I think one referee had a defensive foul, one referee had an offensive foul, and they had to get together. They still have not made a call, and they're going to say foul on Banks.
And I think they got that right. I think one of the officials might have called offensive, and they're talking about an untucked shirt. We've seen the fashion of basketball change so much that shorts aren't short enough and shirts aren't tight enough, and all of a sudden a medium doesn't fit a kid that's 6'3" and 200 pounds. So we're having to battle that issue.
Yeah, you're right.
To be honest, go ahead. Sorry, Dursberger with the made free throw. And if it looked like some of these guys, I'd be wearing the tightest thing as well. I mean, these guys are jacked.
8-6 our score. Jackson Gebhardt back to the scorer's table, checking if this free throw goes down, but it does not. And little brother Luke will bring it out for Southeast of Saline. On the break, here's Nikari. Puts his head down, floating away from the rim, and gets it to go anyway. Boy, Nikari getting extra playing time tonight with the absence of Eli Harris scoring there, and then Eli Sawyers shoving the shot away against the wall for Southeast of Saline defensively. You're going to miss Eli Harris, of course. He's a senior. He's played so well for the Southeast of Saline basketball team. But when Coach told me that he wasn't feeling well and he was going to be out today, I wondered about that connection with him and Eli Sawyers. We always talk about the Eli to Eli combination they have, and that's going to affect Sawyers, I think, a little bit in this game too.
It will. Without that beautiful high-low game that somehow they just established, but, it might open up something new for Sawyers on the offensive side.
Here's Eli Sawyers with another block defensively as Campa was trying to make a move on him. Sawyers was just too busy with the body and then got him up top and slotted it out of bounds. And we will play on as Sacred Heart will inbound underneath their own basket. Way up to the elbow. They hit Disberger. Disberger now will get it back into the hands of Caleb Gilliland. 8-8 is our score. Back inside, Disberger, shot blocked again by Sawyers. Boy, Sawyers is winning that battle down low, isn't he?
Well, and Sawyers doing a great job of keeping his body away and just letting his hands work by going straight up. We hear the scream straight up, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's keeping that body away, not getting in foul trouble and deflecting the ball and getting – I've got him down for 3, maybe 4 blocks already. This
game is even as you can get. It's 8-8 on the scoreboard. Team fouls are 3-3. Turnovers are 5-5. Can't get any more even than that as we go into the last 28 seconds of the first quarter. Trojans now on defense. Sacred Heart on the attack. Here comes Caleb Gilliland. Goes after Augustine. Now dumps it off. Disberger, beautiful spin move. And you see right away with Eli Sawyers on the bench, they go right into Alex Disberger for 2. Here's Luke Gebhardt attacking on the other end. And Luke has come out in this game super aggressive.
You're exactly right. And I think a lot of times when you're facing a team that doesn't have that rim protector, if you just have somebody that's willing to go and attack the rim, good things are going to happen, especially if you go up strong. And it's exactly what Luke did. Found himself with 2 free throws.
Gormley on the foul. Luke at the free throw line will shoot 2. First attempt dies on the back or iron and then falls in. 10-9. Back within 1 is Southeast of Saline. Luke Gebhardt can tie it here with another free throw. 11 seconds left to go. First quarter. Free throw up by Gebhardt. No good. Oracle Palmer with the rebound. He flips it back to Luke. 7 seconds left to play. Jackson Gebhardt now has it between the rings. I think we may have a technical on Coach Gormley for Sacred Heart. So they are going to isolate Coach Gormley in a chair for the rest of the game, which is typical after first technical. And we heard from the official coming over to the scorer's table. It was something that he said, so Drake Augustine will go to the free throw line to shoot the technicals. This is a gift for Southeast of Saline, especially in a game where they have had trouble scoring. Both teams have. Drake Augustine will get 2 at the free throw line. So good job there by Drake.
When I think the most interesting thing is I don't think Coach Gormley was saying anything towards the officials. I think it was just general direction he was giving to his team. and not exactly sure what he said, but it obviously didn't, adhere to Keisha standards.
Down to 2 seconds. Jackson Gebhardt has it. He leans into a defender, and that shot too late as Southeast of Saline will take a 1-point lead into the break between the first and second quarters. 11-10 is our score. Southeast of Saline leads it by 1. Second quarter coming up. After this, you're listening to Southeast of Saline Trojan Basketball, and it's brought to you by Salina Ortho. Your voice, your choice.
Nowadays, everything's on our phones. So why not have access to your bank at your fingertips as well? With the First Bank Kansas mobile app, you can deposit checks, pay bills, and transfer money straight from your smartphone. You can bank from the comfort of your home and have 24-hour access to your money. First Bank Kansas makes mobile banking quick, secure, and convenient. Download the app today or give them a call at one of their locations in Salina, Ellsworth, McPherson, Abilene, Lindsborg, or Hutchinson. Member FDIC.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Kelly Kitchener today for a free personal protection review. When everything changes for you, visit Shelter Agent Kelly Kitchener.
This is Trojan Basketball on KINA.
Welcome back to Sacred Heart High School. A good one here between the Knights and the Trojans of Southeast of Saline. 11-10 is our score. Southeast with the lead. Sacred Heart with the basketball. Devin Haney, Tyler Smith on a Saturday afternoon. Pretty good afternoon so far.
You can't beat it if you're wearing the purple. Got a big win from the ladies. The guys are playing tough. Other than the Army-Navy game right now, I don't know what else I'd rather be doing.
I love a good Army-Navy game, but I'm still pretty comfortable right here.
Can't disagree, especially courtside. Doesn't get any better than this.
7:39 left to go here. There was a foul in the paint against Southeast of Saline. Luke Gebhardt will collect his first personal foul. Shot up by Sacred Heart off the inbounds. It comes up empty, and here comes Southeast off and running. Gebhardt up the floor. He's going to slam on the brakes, play it back to trailing Nakari Miracle-Palmer. Three-pointer up, no good. And Luke Gebhardt up high for the rebound. Creates a loose ball. Drake Augustine pulls it in. Back to Jackson. Bump from behind. Basket bouncing, and going in. Jackson Gebhardt on the trail, came back through, but look at Nakari Miracle-Palmer and Drake Augustine creating that action.
There was a lot of havoc down there. And all of a sudden you see Gebhardt to Gebhardt connection, and Jackson's pretty cool when it comes to that right there. Collected the basketball, the and one, no biggie for him.
So Jackson gets the two, cannot nail the free throw on the end of it. And Southeast of Saline comes away leading by 3. Here's a cut down the lane now by Gormley. His shot is up off the back of the rim, no good. Luke Gebhardt in underneath, trying to collect the player control foul, and he'll get whistled for the block. That'll be 2 quick fouls now against Luke Gebhardt, who has come out in this game playing well.
Yes, and you hate to say, I think before the game you'd say that maybe Luke, go out there, play as hard as you can defensively, and I don't want to say your fouls don't count, but they're not going to hurt us because you know that you got other guys coming in. But what he's done offensively all of a sudden, maybe you're thinking, all right, now we got to protect you a little bit. There's obviously something that you're seeing offensively that you can do. So, got to protect yourself. 2 early fouls. Continue doing what you can offensively.
Jacob Gormley at the free throw line missed the first. Second one also rimming out, but a rebound by Mason Richards for Sacred Heart. There's a long shot put up from the outside, 3-point territory. That's no good. The basketball travels out of bounds, and Southeast of Saline will get it back on the possession. Eli Sawyer's had a nice break. He's back in. Bryant Banks is back in as well. They'll join Camden Spano-Lund, Grant Stump for the first time, and Nakari Miracle-Palmer. I always love Sacred Heart because sitting courtside, people think we have the ability to check them in.
And we're just pointing, saying, good luck, go get them, and all of a sudden they run out on the court.
Here is Camden up top. He's been quiet offensively tonight. He always has a three-pointer in him somewhere. There's a drive by Eli Sawyers. He had 3. Sacred Heart Knights draped on him that time, unable to get the basket to go. Here comes Sacred Heart, transition the other way. 6:39 left to play before halftime. It's a 3-point Southeast of Saline lead. Handoff up top, a little 2-man game with Gilliland and also Richards. Richards will take the drive, partially blocked by Miracle-Palmer. You're right, Tyler. Nakari's given Sacred Heart problems on both ends. Here's Spano London now trying to get a floater to the basket on the break. He can't. Now Sacred Heart brings it back the other way, and they're going to score 2 points by Mason Richards. He has 4.
That was a great finish by Richards. Kind of made that little jab step to the right while he was driving, finished to the left hand. Nicely done.
Brian Banks forcing the action now on the other end. He's going to drive hard to the basket. He is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. So first really aggressive move we've seen at the rim by Brian Banks, and he'll earn himself 2 free throws as he steps to the line. Mason Richards, check that. Gus Campa with the foul. That's his first. Banks' first free throw is up and good. So far, Southeast of Saline, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, as they lead by 2. Bryant's second free throw attempt also splashes the net. Couple of free throws and 2 points for Brian Banks as he has put Southeast of Saline back up by 3. It's been the biggest lead either team has had. Sacred Heart jumped out to a 3-0 lead as Caleb Gilliland made the first shot of the game from three-point land. Here's a three-pointer put up by Mason Richards. That is good. He has 5 in the quarter, and we're all tied up at 15. Akari Morikel Palmer with it. He'll float to the left-hand side. Brian Banks. Now back to Eli Sawyers. Sawyers looking for Morikel Palmer. Akari looking inside for Grant Stumpf. He can't handle the basketball, and it goes out of bounds. Turnover number 6 for Southeast. Jackson Gebhardt will check in for Grant Stumpf.
Hey, good work right there. I mean, gave Stumpf a look down low. The pass, pretty tough to catch with one hand. Maybe the defender had the other hand, but good positioning by Stumpf right there.
Grant coming off of a game against Smoky Valley on Tuesday in which he scored 7. Now a traveling violation here on Sacred Hearts. Michael Matucci. Each team has 6 turnovers.
And Matucci, a freshman, getting early minutes. I mean, looks the part. I mean, he's quick. He's handled the ball well so far. We know how difficult it is keeping up with Spano Lund. You know, we discussed, you've said it, how he's good for a couple threes a game. He is not an easy matchup. You lose him in transition, he's going to start hitting. And right now the freshman Matucci's doing a good job keeping up with him.
Here's a skip pass over the top. Camden's going to tee it up for 3, in and out, no good. Eli Sawyers, though, with a rebound and a pirouette. He drops it in as he was spinning around. Eli Sawyers, his first field goal of the day, and it was a beautiful one.
It was great body awareness from Sawyers and great hands, as we've always discussed with him.
There's a drive to the rim now by Richards. That's no good, but he fishes out his own rebound and brings it out to the left-hand side of the offense right in front of the Southeast bench. 4:47 left to go. Southeast by 2. There's a drive by Matucci. Now back out to Richards, top of the circle. In deep post entry to Campa. Campa being guarded by Sawyers. Matucci, a little runner, drops it home. Michael Matucci, his first basket of the day.
Crafty from Matucci.
Yeah.
Again, a shot 10 years ago you got yelled at by a coach. If you can shoot the runner from 15, it keeps you out of the long reach of Sawyers, and it gives you a good look.
Deep post entry now, Banks to Sawyers. Sawyers collects the defense, now kicks it back out. Extra pass from Nakari over to Camden. Three-pointer on the way, that's no good, and now Eli Sawyers in there fighting for the rebound, and a foul will be called on Sacred Heart. We will see Michael Murray, that's a alternate possession situation. We'll go to the arrow, and he'll stay with Southeast as Michael Murray checks in for the first time. I think Murray was supposed to come in for Banks. He actually replaced Nakari, so Morikel Palmer will have a brief rest. Here's Sawyers. He's going to go on a drive all the way to the rim, left a little bit short. And Sacred Heart with the rebound. 4 minutes left to play. Here's we're halfway through the second quarter. 17-17 our score. Richards up top. Goes to Matucci on the right-hand side. Deep to Disberger. His shot is up, no good. And boy, both these teams right now just ice cold from the floor.
There, and you're starting to see maybe it's legs. I mean, the defensive intensity, as we know with both these teams, is always going to be great. So, these long stretches without an offensive field goal, kind of aren't something we thought would be new. But a lot of good defense is being played.
I think they might have called an official's timeout here to wipe up a spot on the floor. Banks went to plant. And you always worry about him with that knee brace. He slipped down, and then he got up and told the official on the baseline there was a wet spot. If there wasn't before, there was after Bryant hit the deck. But they're going to do some housekeeping there in the lane to make sure somebody doesn't get hurt. So a good stop here by the officials. As southeast of Saline now, we'll have a sideline inbounds right in front of us. Nakari Morical Palmer back into the game. He will replace Brian Banks with 3:33 left to go before break. Talked to Shauna Smith at halftime about her girls' first win of the season. It was a good one against Sacred Heart here earlier this afternoon. Here's Camden Spanolund out to Jackson Gebhardt. Three-pointer on the way. That's an air ball. Now a rebounding foul will be called against Southeast. Going to get Michael Murray on the rebounding foul. Number 1 on Murray. Matucci will come out. Back into the game for Sacred Heart will be Kobe Douglas. Also into the game, Caleb Gilliland. So starters on the floor right now for the Sacred Heart Knights. 3:21 left to go, second quarter. We're all tied up at 17. Gormley brings it up the right-hand sideline, trying to set this Knight offense. He'll kick it out now to Richards. Richards, triple threat position, stares Jackson Gebhardt in the face. Now he wants to drive. He'll get into the lane, kick it out. Right in front of Bryson Flax, who coaches his team in the corner. Back out to Richards. Now to Gormley on the drive. Gormley stops mid-lane. Plays it back out to Gilliland, who comes cutting around. Now to Disberger inside. He missed his first attempt. Second attempt being batted around. Nakari Morical Palmer plays it out to Spanolund. Now to Murray. Now Nakari on the trail, and he got to go. What a beautiful play by Michael Murray as he was able to just offer that one up on a silver platter to Nakari Morical Palmer. And Nakari went up, finished above the rim, and got fouled.
What a great job by Spanolund to find Murray, and Murray with just a touch pass to Nakari and above the rim. I mean, it's somewhere I've never been. It looks like it's a lot easier to finish the bucket when you're up that high. Drew the contact. Great finish by the sophomore.
The foul will be on Jacob Gormley. That is number 3 for him. So Campbell will come in, and Nakari to the free throw line. Boy, he's so explosive, and we saw right there, went up and dropped it in, and all the defender could do was slap him in the elbow. 20-17, three-point play by Morical Palmer. A little run and jump defense now up top for Southeast of Saline as they're scrambling all over the place. Sacred Heart trying to crack the code. They play it, loose ball. Murray picks it up, off to Morical Palmer. Weezy sees showtime here. He goes up with one hand and he misses the slam. So Nakari had a chance there. They come away empty. Eli Sawyer's now trying to get the steal. And he stepped on the sideline as he went out of bounds.
Hey, and interesting thing. The sophomore misses the dunk, and the first person giving encouraging words is Coach Flax. He's saying it's all right. Keep going. A lot of times you'll see coaches just berate a player for missing a dunk. Coach Flax knows how exciting that is.
Well, you also look at the psychology of this, too. Coach Flax is begging Nakari to come out of his shell. He tells me all the time, he dominates practice. He was the best kid in the gym over the summer. And then sometimes on game day when you're that young, things just kind of freeze up a little bit for you. But he's getting more minutes here this afternoon, with the absence of Eli Harris. Everybody picking up a little more slack, and Nakari's making the best of it.
And I from someone who dunks a lot, I think 2 hands is easier. But, he went up with one, just lost it without anybody nearby. But explosive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
And a lot of times guys like that, Nakari's not a big guy. I mean, he's 6 foot. And a lot of times with guys that size that are sitting on springs as he scores again, it's not the issue of getting up there. It's the issue of hanging onto the ball because your hands are so small.
Yes, without a doubt. A great finish right there. I mean, I think if he busts out of his shell tonight, it's going to be fun for us. But I think we're slowly starting to see him crack that shell open.
Right now he's leading Southeast of Saline with 7 points, and he's given the Trojans their first 5-point lead. A little over a minute left to go, 70 seconds left to play in this first half. 22-17. Here's a backdoor cut inside. Disberger springs open, and they find him. Alex Disberger with 5 now for Sacred Heart. Under a minute left to go. 22-19. Southeast with the lead and the ball. Here's a long-distance shot from Camden Spanolund. That goes unanswered. Now Sacred Heart on a run-out. Gilliland has it. He'll challenge the rim and draw the contact from Michael Murray. Free throws coming up for Caleb Gilliland. Disberger, we talked about his offensive production. 16.7 rebounds last night against Rossville. Last Friday against El Saline, 16 points. Right now, things have been a little tough for him on the inside because of the presence of Eli Sawyers. Right now, Disberger setting with 5.
When any success that he's had, he's creating that space with his body. He's not going to get a lot of buckets, from that 10 5 to 10 foot range. They're going to be running underneath the bucket when he kind of bodies Sawyer out of the way and creates quick layups like he just did right there.
First free throw, no good for Caleb Gilliland. He'll get the second attempt here. 47 seconds left to play, second quarter. Second free throw on its way. It's also off the front of the rim. Tipped, though, between two Trojans, and Gilliland able to bring it down. Three-pointer by Richards. That's a big play. Second three-pointer of the day for Mason Richards. He has 8 in this quarter and tying the game back up at 22. That could be a 5-point swing. Jackson Gebhardt drives, leaves it off in the corner for Luke Gebhardt. Luke now to Morikel Palmer. Sacred Heart trying to keep Nikari from going crazy here in the second. He'll kick it out now to Jackson Gebhardt for 3. Gebhardt answers the three-pointer of Mason Richards with one of his own. 15 seconds left to go. Southeast trying to protect a 3-point lead, 25-22. Boy, this is a low-scoring, gritty contest. Here's a drive now. Gilliland gets to the paint, and he finishes. Back to a 1-point game, 2 seconds left. Gebhardt in the backcourt will throw it up with 2 hands, and that will be the horn as we go to halftime. Intermission is here. Southeast of Saline led by 1 at the end of 1. They lead by 1 at the end of the second quarter as well. 25-24 Trojans. When we come back on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report, we'll have a sit down with Shauna Smith, talk about her team's victory. Also, stats from the first half. It's all coming up. 25-24 at halftime. Southeast of Saline leads Sacred Heart right here on KINA.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top-quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the AmSoil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
Family, integrity, service, and opportunity. These are the guiding values that drive our company. That's what makes us different at United Capital Management. We know your history, your family. We celebrate with you and support you during life's many events. It's more than money. It's about relationships we can build for years and years. Let us customize a plan specific for you so that you can pursue your goals. Call 785-823-7900 or visit ucmofkansas.com to speak with an advisor and learn firsthand what UCM can do for you.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap. Shot at the horn! Stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Now, let's get back to the gym for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here at Sacred Heart High School, halftime of the boys contest. 25-24 is our score. Southeast of Saline leading by 1. Time now for a conversation with Shauna Smith, head coach of the Southeast of Saline girls. And Coach, your girls this afternoon played a really good game against Sacred Heart, 52-36. We've talked about the first 2 games, playing a really good Heston squad, that a Smoky Valley squad that had all 5 starters back. They went out last night, beat Concordia. I think they're going to be legit this year. You were just waiting on that opportunity for it to come together, and I'm not saying everything was perfect today, but things came together a little bit for you, didn't they?
Yeah, once Carson kind of got started there early on, you kind of felt like, she kind of got comfortable a little bit more. Getting the first couple of games, she maybe just kind of was out of rhythm a little bit, and I think having these 3 days of practice kind of got us. We had some young kids we needed to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about Slagner and her quick start. She had 7 points in the first quarter. Maddie Harris was right there in her sidecar with 9. And I saw some defensive possessions for Sacred Heart. They were trying to find both of the girls, and sometimes those 2 girls were taking up 4 defenders. Well, that helped other people get involved too. The other great thing that happened early on for you was success at the free throw line. Talk about that.
Yeah, I guess you probably asked Carson, though. She's probably kind of disappointed because she missed some there. She would have had a lot tonight with her, 29 points tonight. I think might be career high.
It is, yep.
For her, but also as I thought we got to the free throw line and we made it, and it was kind of everybody together.
Your transition game, I thought you were really good defensively, but after the defense was done, getting out, running the floor, we saw a couple of long passes up the floor, but we also saw some team running too, where you guys were able to get out, fill the lanes, maybe not have the first opportunity, but hit that secondary break and able to make things happen.
Yeah, that's the thing we talked about the last 3 days too, is that's where we're going to have to get some easy buckets that way. And Maddie Harris can make that long pass for us, but right now we're trying to figure out between her and Carson, we got to work on kind of get a point guard, because we wanted Carson to get out and go, but I thought tonight we did a good job running the floor, but we need to do even a better job. I thought we were all right with it, but we can do even better with it. And just running our secondary completely through. We're kind of just going option one on it.
Are you focusing with the girls right now of defense first, and then as you play defense and have success there, the offense will come along? We talked about the transition game, but also we saw 7 3-pointers go in the basket tonight.
Yeah, and that's our big thing for theme for the week was rebounding, because we can't get out in transition if we don't rebound.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of felt with the first 2 games was we didn't get any rebounds, so it's hard to get out and getting transition points. So that kind of got us going. It kind of makes you feel a little more comfortable, too. You can kind of get out and defend, too. And we kind of came out a little bit higher defending, kind of put some pressure on them. So those things come a little bit easier when you're kind of getting some easy buckets.
8 turnovers tonight, too. That's a good number for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and a couple of those were just some unforced turnovers, some kind of some bonehead ones that we could probably take back. Wasn't necessarily something they did to us.
I made the comment at one time during the game, you have to feel a little bit like a mad scientist right now, because you have the luxury of some really good younger players that you're working in there. And then Maddie Harris scores double digits her first game out. You put Lexi Jacobson in on Tuesday against Smoky Valley. She hits double digits with 14. Tonight, Brielle Potocik played extremely well for you. So you have these younger players come in, and that's got to be a pleasant surprise when they're also able to score for you also.
Well, that's kind of why they're playing right now,
Yeah.
Their defense is going to come along. I mean, that's something you have to teach, and usually that you do have to teach when they get up to that level. But we're, offensively, we've kind of struggled the last few years as our offensive end, scoring, whatever. That's kind of the theme here. If you can score, you're probably going to play some, and they're not afraid to shoot the ball.
Lose the game against Abilene on Tuesday, hoping to reschedule that, I think. So now, have about a week off. You're going to have a Thursday game against the state-ranked Hillsboro squad on the road. What do you know about Hillsboro? And just, is it good now to just kind of have a week of practice and not have a game on Tuesday when you have something like this positive happen and be able to take it to the gym?
Obviously I'd rather be playing
Right.
on Tuesday night, but that's not going to happen. But, we got to prepare for Hillsboro because they're going to be good and really good and athletic. And honestly, they have a little more size than us, but athletically, I mean, they're going to be just as much as, as we are. So we're going to have to get out and defend, and my kids are going to have to really figure out how we're going to defend and not just leave kids wide open.
52-36, the final score. I think also we talked a little bit about the broadcast. Your team had 6 losses last year, and just because of the dominance that Southeast Saline has had over Sacred Heart on the girls' side, people forget 2 of the losses of the 6 last year were to the Sacred Heart team. So not only being a league game, this is a big win for you today.
Yeah, we talked about that. We said we're in the last 2 years we're 1-4 or 1-3.
Yeah.
Whatever, and so this is a big win for us.
Well, enjoy it. Congratulations on the victory. Get some work in the gym. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
All right, thank you.
All right, Shauna Smith, head coach of the Southeast of Saline girls, 52-36. They get it done tonight. It's the first league game for Southeast of Saline. They come away with a victory now, 1-2 overall. Halftime of the boys contest, 25-24. It's a low-scoring, really gritty battle here between Southeast and Sacred Heart. Southeast leads it by 1 at the break. Back with stats from the first half. After this 1-minute timeout, you're listening to Trojan Basketball on the Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report.
Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bring out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Knopf Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Knopf Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Knopf Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans.
At Commercial Tire Centers, we know you have many places to be and lots of things to see. Your tires are everything, and we are here to serve you. From the smallest lawnmower tire to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck and commercial tires, call Commercial Tire. Oil changes, suspension service, alignment, too many things to mention. The trusted tire experts are at Commercial Tire Center.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
PRP, or platelet-rich plasma injection therapy, has received quite a bit of attention since its use by many professional athletes. Professional football players like Peyton Manning and Jamal Charles have used PRP therapy for sports injuries and to avoid surgery. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete with millions of dollars for this cutting-edge therapy. PRP is available to you in the Saline Pain Clinic. Call the doctors for a consultation and see if this treatment is right for you. See them at 200 South 5th in the Salina Surgical Arts Center.
When termites strike your home or business, you want to fight back with the best. Hasman Termite and Pest Control to the rescue. With over 57 years experience, they offer the best of options, including the new BASF High Precision Injection Treatment. Don't let termites get you down. With one phone call to Hasman's, they can put one in the win column for you. Call Hasman Termite and Pest Control today or visit HasmanTermite.com and follow them on Facebook.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Basketball on KINA.
Back here at Sacred Heart High. Two points for Drake Augustine and Bryant Banks, and also a three in there that I missed for Luke Gebhardt. For Sacred Heart, they're being led 12 points from Mason Richards. He has 2 3-pointers. Both those came in the second quarter. 5 points for Alex Disberger, 3 points for Caleb Gilliland, and 2 for Kobe Douglas and Michael Matucci. Free throw shooting, Sacred Heart not very good right now. They're 1 of 6 from the free throw line, while Southeast of Saline is 8 out of 9. Both teams have 6 turnovers. Tyler, when you look at the second half, I know points were at a premium. That was just kind of a gritty physical battle in the first half of action. Your new image audio keys to success here for Southeast in the second half.
Well, and they still don't change from the very beginning of the game. We talked about who's going to be that person that kind of came out of the shadows, you know, that player that we weren't expecting a lot from to kind of emerge onto the scene and kind of play big this game. And right now it's Nakari Moracle-Palmer who's just putting together a great game, not only offensively, but Devin, what he's doing defensively, I mean, just so long. He's creating issues. I mean, he can guard 1 through 5. His length is causing troubles on the perimeter, doing a lot of good things for transition for the Trojans. So right now it's just to see what he can continue to do, see if he, like you said, breaks out of that shell, cracks a smile. It'd be nice to see him play with some emotion, but you know what? That might be what makes him tick the way he does. You know, just kind of even killed the entire time. You know, we've talked about the great success of the football team and the cross-country team. It's a state champ right there. I mean, he knows how to handle himself, you know, with success, and that's a lot to be said for that.
Starters on the floor for both teams, except for Jacob Gormley. His 3 fouls will get him on the bench to start second half of action. Gus Campbell will start for Sacred Heart as we start this third quarter. Sacred Heart with the basketball. They go in deep to Campa. He throws it out for a 3-pointer from Richards. That's too strong, no good. Disberger on the inside, got the putback to go, and a foul will be called down low on Southeast of Saline. I believe this will be Eli Sawyers on the contact. And an and-one situation coming up. Actually, no. They're going to give that to Camden Spano-Lund, his first foul.
Well, a great finish by Disberger. I mean, just showing just strength down low, getting knocked, finishing the bucket for the and-one opportunity.
And he gets it on the free throw. We mentioned Sacred Heart not shooting free throws well in that first half, 1 out of 6. Southeast quickly back the other way now after a 1-point lead disappears. Sacred Heart now up by 2, 27-25. We're going to have a foul away from the basketball as Campa was hanging on to Bryant Banks down low. And this foul away from the ball will put Southeast of Saline on a baseline inbounds underneath their own basket.
And we know Banks is a tough matchup problem for anyone with Gormley being out. I mean, that's a matchup right now that Coach Flax is going to have to look to go to. He's going to try to isolate Banks, see if he can get Campa into foul trouble as well, and see if you can get Gormley back in the game with his 3 fouls. Or go further into Sacred Heart's bench.
Yeah. Banks will have it off the inbound. Sawyers now back up top to Jackson Gebhardt. Gebhardt looking in at Brian Banks, who's trying to get that post action there against Campa. Can't get him the ball, though. Sacred Heart sagging off, almost daring Southeast of Saline to shoot that outside 3-pointer. Camden Spano-Lund has it now. He'll test the baseline, sticks his toes in the water, now comes back out, skip pass to Eli Sawyers. Sawyers in 3-point land, wanting a pick and roll from Banks. Good, solid pick from Bryant. Sawyers springs free, misses the shot, and the ball in the middle of 3. Sacred Heart Knights wearing white jerseys trimmed in gold. Back the other way we go. Sacred Heart with the basketball, leading by 2. A deflection and a takeaway. Camden Spano-Lund got his hand in there, and Brian Banks secured the turnover. Here's Cam now on the other end. Dices between 2 defenders and finishes with the left. His first bucket of the game.
Great move by Spano-Lund right there to get into the lane. Take the ball to the left hand. Nice English off the backboard for the 2-point layup.
There's Nakari gambling for a steal. He can't get it. His man gets away, but now we have a moving pick away from the basketball. This moving screen against Caleb Gilliland, and now he has 3 fouls. So Sacred Heart getting themselves in a little bit of foul trouble here with Gormley and Gilliland both landing in the 3-foul club.
Well, and you can argue that from a coaching standpoint, that a lot of fouls are stupid fouls, but if you're committing a foul away from the basketball with an illegal screen, you've really got to get upset with your players doing that, or upset at the officials, which we can't hear because Coach Gormley's been
reprimanded.
Yes,
thank
you.
He has been warned and set down.
Your vocabulary is bigger than mine. I couldn't find the thesaurus.
It's not the same without him stalking the sidelines, though, is it?
It is not, no.
Here's a pick-and-roll situation up high. Spano-Lund can't get anything working. Banks now will settle in, catch the ball, kick it out to Gebhardt. Jackson's 3 on the way. Good. Jackson Gebhardt, his second 3-pointer of the day, and he puts Southeast of Saline back up by 3. A little 5-0 run here for the Trojans after they found themselves behind, but a leaner off the window comes from Caleb Gilliland, who now has 5. Back to a 1-point Southeast lead. Boy, this game has all been played within 8 points. The biggest lead for Sacred Heart was 3. The biggest lead for Southeast was 5. And here's Camden Spano-Lund off the pick. Silky smooth jumper at the left elbow, drops it home.
Well, we know Spano-Lund can score from anywhere, and that layup he had a couple minutes ago might just open up that bucket for him. We see him with a good 15-footer.
Disberger got left alone underneath the basket, and Michael Matucci found him. And Alex Disberger now getting on his rhythm as he has 10 points now all of a sudden. 5 points already in the first 3 minutes of this quarter. Here's Gebhardt leaning, driving, and scoring off the glass. He is also fouled. Jackson Gebhardt will go to the free throw line. He just hit a 3-pointer. Now he's trying to earn 3 the hard way.
Jackson's just so crafty. I mean, he knows that he just hit a 3. He knows the defense knows that. Ball fake, takes it into the paint, draws the contact, and great body control for the end one opportunity again.
Jackson's free throw kisses the front of the rim, and it comes down in the hands of Alex Disberger. That last foul on Gus Campa, his 3rd. So now 3 Sacred Heart Knights playing with 3 fouls. 4:55 left to go here in the 3rd. Matucci threw it over to the corner. Campa saved it from going out of bounds, and now a player control foul as Camden Spano-Lund steps in the path of a Sacred Heart player and draws the foul. This is going to go against Mason Richards, his first. But another turnover on an offensive foul for Sacred Heart. That's their 2nd of the quarter. 34-31, 4:48 left to go here in the 3rd. Brian Banks will bring it down the floor along with Camden Spano-Lund. Now to Eli Sawyers, top of the circle. Eli between the rings. Floats pass left-hand side, Jackson Gebhardt. 3-pointer for Spano-Lund. Round the rim. It touched every part of the cylinder and then fell out. Gus Campa with the rebound. Here's a steal by Jackson Gebhardt. Stepped into the passing lane. That started with Bryant Banks. Campa lost his dribble. Banks was all over him, and then Gebhardt comes in, gets the steal, and cashes it in.
Yeah, great job by Banks. Again, we talked about that matchup with Campa on Banks down low. It just turned it that Banks was guarding Campa, creates an issue. Campa can't handle Banks out on the perimeter.
Matucci down low to Campa. Campa turns. He's open. He kisses it off the window.
And with that said, great move right there by Campa. Just a bowl down there. Did a good job letting the Southeast defenders jump, hesitate a little bit, got the easy bucket.
36-33. Southeast led by 5 momentarily. Now Eli Sawyers for 3. That one's going to be short off the cylinder, and it bounces to the baseline. Out of bounds back to Sacred Heart. Drake Augustine will come into the game along with Luke Gebhardt. Also Jacob Gormley comes in. Remember, he has 3 fouls for Sacred Heart. Banks will take a break for Southeast along with Camden Spano-Lund. They'll both be out. So your Southeast lineup is Nakari Moracle-Palmer, Luke Gebhardt, Jackson Gebhardt, Eli Sawyers, Drake Augustine. Over halfway through the 3rd period. 3:37 left to go. 36-33, Southeast of Saline leading it by a 3. Deep post entry to Disberger, trying to make a move on Sawyers. Sawyers there to block it. Look at Nakari on the backside, cleaning up the glass. Here comes Sawyers now. in the middle of the floor. A little out of control there. He passes it to Gebhardt. Gebhardt with a sloppy leaner, and he comes down. It looks like he might have stepped on somebody's foot. Back the other way we go. Richards on the left wing. He stops his dribble, plays it back out now to Gormley. Jacob looking for a big pick and roll here from Campa. Gus will come over, and Southeast just switches out of it. Now Gormley trying to take advantage of Drake Augustine. He puts Drake in the lane, scores over the top of him. Good awareness there by Jacob Gormley.
Yeah, the Sacred Heart offense is just so much more stable with Gormley in there. I mean, obviously the coach's son. It always pays to have that second coach out there on the court. You can tell the coach's sons just play a little bit differently. Much more stable with him back in the lineup.
Here's a cross-court pass. Jackson Gebhardt. Nakari Moriko-Palmer will take the drive, and he'll knock one off the glass. 9 points now for Nakari in this game. 38-35. Southeast of Saline still leading by 3. Here's Campa. Little head and shoulder fake. He'll play it back out to Gormley. Gormley in the corner, Now he plays it back out. Here's another steal by Gebhardt. Giving chase is Richards. Jackson going to go up, but he fades in with a finger roll. Boy, Jackson Gebhardt had that accelerator smashed to the floor. Then when he got to the rim, Tyler, it was just so smooth.
A little hesitation step. It's much like, we see him running the offense, on the football field. He just knows when the defenders are going to go by. So smooth. Such great, you can't teach some of those moves he has.
There's Campa now with a 2-pointer on the left-hand side of the basket. Boy, Southeast just cannot extend that 5-point lead. Now Sacred Heart back within 3, 40-37. There's a ball that got deflected. Gebhardt underneath, and now a traveling violation will be issued here to Drake Augustine. That's the first turnover of the second half for Southeast. 40-37. Trojans still lead it by 3. The offense has picked up on both sides, though. It's much easier to watch.
It has. It's been a lot easier. And the offensive side, Southeast, their success has come from the defensive side. We've already seen a couple breakaway layups from Gebhardt, and it's come from either his defensive play, the team's defensive play. We saw Banks create a turnover earlier. That's, again, if you get easy buckets like that and get people going, you're going to start seeing the bucket open up for, the half-court offense.
Grant Stumpf into the game. Here's Gormley spinning free. His first shot attempt blocked by Gebhardt, but then he gets it back. Scores anyway. 4 points in the quarter for Jacob Gormley. 1:06 left to play here in the third. Southeast with a 1-point lead and the basketball. Nakari Moriko-Palmer has it. Looked inside briefly at Grant Stumpf. Now he'll play it on the left wing to Luke Gebhardt. Gebhardt on a baseline drive. He'll play it back out to Moriko-Palmer. He'll drive in from 12 and drop it home. Nakari having a good game here in Salina against the Knights. He has 11 now in double digits.
What a great job. He just took one little ball fake at the top of the key, one dribble. All of a sudden found himself with a little 15-foot floater that he nails.
42-39. Closing 30 seconds here of the third quarter. Southeast of Saline leading by 3. Gormley's going to retreat all the way out near the scores table as Sacred Heart goes to play for one last shot here. Southeast is led by 5 a couple of times here in this third quarter. Sacred Heart had a 2-point lead early on in the quarter. Clock now down to 10. Everybody out away from the basket for Sacred Heart. They're going to try a high pick and roll, KU style. Gormley floats off to the right. Nakari Moriko-Palmer with him. Now he floats it out for a 3-pointer that's up. Rattling in and out, no good. Nakari secures the rebound, and that will be the end of the third quarter. 42-39 our score. Southeast of Saline leads it by 3 as we head to the fourth. That final quarter coming up after this. You're listening to Southeast of Saline Trojan Basketball. That's brought to you by Salina Ortho. Your voice, your choice.
The winter season may be here, but paintball fun is still waiting for you at Elite Sports. Elite Sports Paintball Complex, located 5 miles south of Salina, is open for special winter hours. Get the group together and visit Elite Sports on Saturdays and Sundays this winter from 11 until 4. Elite Sports features low-impact paintballs for the beginners or little ones, so everyone can have more fun. Visit them online at SalinaPaintballComplex.com. Elite Sports Paintball Complex, open and waiting for you this weekend.
The Appliance Center. It's where you go to shop for washers, dryers, kitchen appliances, furniture, pellet grills, TVs, and so much more. If you are looking for a local, family-owned business, visit the Appliance Center. We're in the big red and white building on South Broadway in Salina. Come experience the Appliance Center difference.
This is Trojan Basketball on KINA.
I'm Devin Haney. That's Tyler Smith working our way through a Saturday afternoon. high school basketball. A couple of good games. If you missed it earlier, Southeast of Saline's girls get their first victory of the season. They go to 1-2, 1-0 in league play against the Sacred Heart Lady Knights. They will look forward now to a game against Hillsboro coming up on Thursday. 42-39, our score here. Southeast leading Sacred Heart by 3. Southeast looking to go back-to-back in the win column after dropping their opening game of the season to the Heston Swathers, currently number 1 in Class 3A. High post. Brian Banks has the basketball. Now they go to Drake Augustine. Skip to Spano Lund. He tries the baseline, gets bumped, and traveling with the basketball.
Well, and that's one of those, you don't know if the bump caused the travel or if the travel was, there to prevent the bump. One way or another, tough break for Southeast Saline.
Back the other way now comes the Sacred Heart Knights. 7:36 left to go. There's a drive and a dish back to the opposite block to Alex Disberger, and he is in the scoring column again, scoring the first basket of the fourth. He has 12. Augustine has it now. Southeast back. That lead being trimmed to 1. Here's Camden Spano-Lund on the feed from Luke Gebhardt. Can't get the runner to go off the cut, and it's going to be rebounded and brought up the floor by Mason Richards. Richards slams on the brakes right in front of his own bench. Now back to Disberger. Loose ball on the floor. Here's Drake Augustine sprinting out after it. He's in a fight for the ball. It's going to create a jump ball situation. We'll check the arrow. It'll stay with Sacred Heart.
Great play by Augustine right there. First of all, the pressure was put on by Spano Lund. Augustine saw the ball dribble off the foot and immediately dove to the floor. This alternate possession, you never know which way it's going to go. It's always important to create as many of those opportunities as you can.
Sacred Heart on a side inbounds. Richards will inbound it here. Now over to the right-hand side to Gormley. He's still out high. Wanted a little pick-and-roll action there. Gormley's going to get to the middle of the paint. Now play it out for a three-pointer that's up and no good for Mason Richards. He hit 2 in the second quarter. Unable to get one to go here in the second half so far. He hasn't scored in the second half. 42-41. Sacred Heart got their own rebound, still working here on offense. Good switch there defensively by Southeast, but it doesn't matter. Mason Richards will elevate and score over the defense. Back the other way comes Drake Augustine. 6:19 left to go. It's a 1-point Sacred Heart lead. 43-42. Stumpf in the middle of the paint. He'll play it out to Spano Lund. He'll collect the defense, play it out to Luke Gebhardt. His three-pointer on the way, no good. Yeah, the rebound taken in by Caleb Gilliland for the Knights. There's Gilliland going all the way to the basket. He's going to bump into a Southeast of Saline defender and earn 2 free throws. So a chance for Sacred Heart to extend their lead at the free throw line. 2 free throws coming up for Caleb Gilliland. Foul against Brian Banks, his second. First free throw on the way, and it's good. Jackson Gebhardt, Nakari Morikel-Palmer, and also Eli Sawyers all come back into the contest. Luke Gebhardt, Grant Stumpf, Drake Augustine will take a break. Also Jacob Gormley out for Sacred Heart.
Well, and that trio that just came back in for Southeast Saline went out with about a minute to go in the third quarter, and now coming in with, 2 minutes gone in the fourth. So it'll be interesting to see. That's +6 that Sacred Heart win on that run with those 3 out. So we'll see if that breather, you'd like to think that they'll probably play the rest of the game, how valuable that could be for those 3.
Now a lazy pass that got stolen away by Sacred Heart, and Camden Spano-Lund comes down and strips it away before he gives up an open layup. Boy, I'm not so sure that didn't go off the leg of the Sacred Heart player who was elevating to score. That was Caleb Gilliland. The referee was not in a great position to make that call. He awards the ball to Sacred Heart.
And I think that's the easy call for him. I don't know how you'd have to be Carl Lewis or Usain Bolt to have gotten down there in time. Spano-Lund, a great hustle play right there to create that issue without committing the foul.
Sacred Heart's going to turn it over back to Southeast of Saline, their 6th turnover of the half. Sacred Heart still leading here by 3. It's their second 3-point lead of the game. Remember, back at the start of this one, they hit a 3 to begin things. That was their other time they led by 3 points. 45-42. Spano-Lund will drive in the middle of that defense. Now back out to Brian Banks. Seems like Sacred Heart gambling a little bit more defensively to try to get some of those steals in the passing lanes. Here's Sawyers inside. Little up and under move. He was swiped at from behind. Now ball on the floor. and it's taken away by Sacred Heart, and a foul will be called on Eli Sawyers. Sawyers trying to get it back, was taking a couple swipes at it, and he's going to create a foul. Number 2 for Eli.
And Eli's just got to be strong with the ball in the paint, and he knows that, and he can hear it from Flax right now. And then he went to the floor, tried to tie the ball up. Good foul call right there on Sawyers.
So that'll give Sacred Heart the basketball back. Southeast now drawing up a little bit of full court pressure here with 5:13 left to go. They're trailing by 3. No team in jeopardy of bonus situation yet when the foul occurs. 14 fouls on Sacred Heart. 3 for Southeast of Saline. Here's Disberger underneath, a beautiful feed, and then he changes sides of the rim, finishes on the backside, and he has 14 points. A 5-point night lead. 47-42. Here's Spano Lund pulling up from 15 at the free throw line. That's no good. And the rebound comes down to Alex Disberger. Sacred Heart slowly pulling away here. They trailed by 3, now up by 5. 47-42. Gormley with it up top. Trying to drive on Miracle Palmer. Gets help from Bryant Banks, and a little touch foul called here on Bryant Banks. So Jacob Gormley will go to the free throw line.
Well, Gormley did a great job, and we can hear Coach Flax. I don't know how much you can hear on the radio, but Gormley fading away. Seems like there was very, very little contact, but the referee saw that there was enough to call the foul.
Also, Coach Flax's complaint is every time Jacob Gormley, he says, makes a hesitation move, he thinks he carries the basketball. That very well could be a valid complaint also. Gormley missed the first free throw. Second one on the way, also missing. Eli Sawyers will get the rebound, and now a foul called on Alex Disberger. Disberger guilty of his second foul. A timeout will be called here for Southeast of Saline. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll step away. 4:33 left to go in this one. Sacred Heart leads it by 5 on KINA.
Hi, folks. It's been an interesting few months, wouldn't you agree? From toilet paper to hand sanitizer, some things have just been hard to find, even a new vehicle. But now, Home Automotive Center in Abilene is restocked and ready to get you into a new car, truck, or SUV. We've got a lot full of great new Chevrolets, Buicks, and Cadillacs, and people tell us buying from home has never been easier or more fun because we have the right price right up front. We're restocked and ready. Come on over to Home Automotive Center in Abilene. You'll be glad you did.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Hoops on KINA.
4:33 left to go in the Saline County showdown between Sacred Heart and Southeast of Saline. 47-42 is our score. Sacred Heart leading by 5. Getting down to crunch time now as we enter the second half of the fourth quarter here in about 33 seconds. Nakari Miracle Palmer, Eli Sawyers, Camden Spano Lund, along with Jackson Gebhardt and Bryant Banks, all on the floor. Southeast with the basketball. They bring it up across the midcourt stripe. Nakari has it. Now to Sawyers. Gebhardt in the corner. He's already hit 1-3 from there, and he got another. Jackson Gebhardt, his third three-pointer of the day, and Jackson has 17 points.
And great job from Sawyers to make that extra pass. It's a shot that maybe he's taken maybe earlier on in the offense, but he knew that one extra pass, Gebhardt's been hot, give it to him wide open on the baseline.
Now a near steal once again as Sacred Heart mishandles the basketball. They have 6 turnovers here in this second half. Southeast just has 1, and now they turn it over again. Give the call to Camden Spano Lund on that defensive pressure. He was able to get Caleb Gilliland into a mistake there.
Well, it's something I don't know if you can see it from the video that's being shot, but so the pass hits Richards in the face, and you look at Gebhardt, and Gebhardt gives him a little wink and says, "You all right?" And then it leads to the ball going to Gilliland and the turnover. So it's always fun to watch Gebhardt.
There's a holding foul up top. Brian Banks was stepping between 2 defenders, and one of the Sacred Heart players reached out and grabbed him. So this will be 6th team foul now for Sacred Heart. The next one, Southeast will be shooting free throws. This is going to be against Alex Disberger, his 3rd. Southeast chance to tie, maybe even take a lead here, 47-45. They trail by 2 with the basketball.
Well, and this is everything you'd expect from this rivalry. We have 2 upset coaches. One can't even stand anymore. The only oddity of this all is the quietness from the crowd. It seems like the parents are sitting and watching and not a lot of yelling and screaming. But the atmosphere has been great. There's 2 teams that are going at it, both hard-nosed defensively, getting buckets when they can. This is what you sign up for when you get Sacred Heart Southeast Saline.
Camden Spano Lund set to inbound down along the baseline. He does so up high to Bryant Banks. Banks now flips it over to Eli Sawyers. Sawyer's nearly traveled with the basketball, but instead of putting it down for another dribble and committing that foul, he passes it. Now over to Banks. Bryant tried a three-pointer. That's no good. Saved by Nakari down along the baseline. Miracle Palmer again saving another possession. He'll play it back to Gebhardt. Now get it back. Camden Spinal up top between the rings. 3:23 left to go, and now a holding foul called down low. This is going to be another foul away from the basket or from the ball. It's down low. It's going to end up in a 1-and-1 situation for Brian Banks. Banks does not have a field goal in this game. He has 2 free throws. Those came back in the second quarter. So Bryant to the free throw line. His first free throw is up and good. Check that. Brian Banks actually had a field goal back in the first quarter. Second free throw here. It's no good. Sacred Heart has it back now. 1-point lead. Little mini run here. 4-0 run for Southeast of Saline. 3:07 left to go. 47-46. Sacred Heart with the lead in the basketball. Disberger on the right-hand side. And a timeout called here by Sacred Heart. Full timeout taken by Coach Gormley. He wants to talk about it. 3 minutes exactly left on the clock. And a 1-point Sacred Heart lead. More Trojan basketball when we come back from Salina here on KINA.
Exit 14 Restaurant in Gypsum, Kansas is cooking up something amazing today. Whether you want to order from our menu or try one of our delicious daily specials, Exit 14 adding a salad bar to their mix. Try one of the scrumptious desserts. Exit 14 is open for lunch Tuesday through Saturday and dinner Thursday through Saturday. Head out to try Prime Rib Night last Saturday of the month and open for Chicken Dinner Day on the first Sunday of the month. Exit 14, 512 Maple, Gypsum, Kansas. Good food, good people, great time.
At home or on the road, K4 Garage will keep you moving. With over 12 years of mechanic experience, owner Nick Trout will diagnose and repair your engine to keep you in the game. Full service gas, diesel, or tires. K4 Garage also has a fully stocked convenience store with snacks and drinks. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, Saturday from 9 until 3. Trust K4 Garage with keeping you on the road. And if it has oil, they can change it at K4 Garage in Gypsum.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Hoops on KINA.
Back here courtside, Sacred Heart High School. Sacred Heart leading by 1 out of the timeout they called. They will inbound underneath their own basket. Caleb Gilliland set to inbounds. Kind of a sloppy inbounds there. Sacred Heart being guarded up top well by Southeast of Saline's defense. And now a bump foul will be called here against Jackson Gebhardt. This is his first, just the 5th team foul for Southeast of Saline.
Well, and the foul was on Richards, and we saw him get hot in the second quarter, and he was just looking to get the corner right there and going for an easy shot, bumped by Gebhardt. And we'll see what the foul game plays right now. You know, all of a sudden, you know, goodness gracious. A kick ball by Nakari. That was impressive. But back to what I was saying, you know, this foul game is going to be big. Southeast is shooting a 1-and-1 every time they're fouled from here on out, and we'll see if they can take advantage of that.
Ball had some heat on it.
That was unreal. I'm glad that didn't come near me.
Here's a open shot off the inbounds from the corner. That's no good, but another offensive rebound here for the Knights. Kobe Douglas saved that possession for Sacred Heart. 2:37 left to go. Southeast being tested here defensively. They trail by 1. Here's a three-pointer put up by Douglas. That's no good. Battle for the rebound underneath, and Disberger's going to beat Eli Sawyers to it. Boy, Eli just didn't block him out there. Now a traveling violation will be issued here against the Knights. That's their 8th turnover of the second half.
Well, and Disberger's doing a great job down low, just fighting. I mean, he's a tough kid. We've talked about that earlier. And, again, it's one of those travels where body moves, you know, quicker than the brain. I didn't have the feet set. Southeast Saline basketball.
Camden Spano brings it up. No-look pass in the corner to Jackson Gebhardt. Jackson drew a brief double team. Now he plays it off to Eli Sawyers. Akari Morico Palmer in the corner. Little step back three from Camden Spano off the front of the rim. That won't go. Gebhardt had a tip attempt, and that won't go. He was kind of guarded on that, and now a rebounding foul will be called against Jackson Gebhardt. His second, team foul number 6. So now both teams in the bonus situation, shooting 1-and-1. 2:05 left to go. Hasn't been a lot of timeouts in this game either. We could have a timeout-a-palooza in the last couple minutes of this one.
We could. The last couple minutes could turn into about 30 minutes.
Each coach has 4 left to use. Here's an empty shot by Gormley. Morikel Palmer with the rebound. Here comes the Trojans off and running. Gebhardt with it, now to Spano Lund. Extra pass over to Nakari, three-pointer on the way. Side twisting shot is no good. It goes off Disberger's left ankle and out of bounds. Southeast will keep it underneath their basket.
When we saw that Spano Lund right there had an opportunity to perhaps take the three, and he's been having some shooting woes tonight. He's hitting every part of the rim, just hasn't seen his shot go through, and you think that that's a shot that, usually he's going to put up, and we'll see if he puts that up later. He's got to continue to have the confidence to put that shot up when it's uncontested.
Maybe Bryson Flax would like to see his guys attack the rim a little bit more here, especially with the bonus situation that they could get to the free throw line. Brian Banks has it. Top of the circle. He'll play it now to Eli Sawyers. Sawyers in three-point territory. Lob into Banks. Now back to Sawyers on a no-touch pass. Over to Gebhardt. Three-pointer from the corner. That's no good. Spano Lund in the lane. Got it to go! He was leaning and bumped down and fouled. And Camden Spano Lund makes the shot, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Devin, loose basketball. 3 or 4 players rolling around on the floor with it. All of a sudden, Spano Lund gets it and is hacked. Great play by Spano Lund.
Kobe Douglas on the foul. Boy, that was a crazy play by Cam. He has put Southeast of Saline back up by 1, and he'll go to the free throw line here. 6 points for Camden Spano Lund. He'll try to get 7 at the free throw line with this one. 1:21 left to go. Free throw on its way, and it's good. Southeast of Saline, a big swing there, and that could be a huge play. 49-47. 78 seconds left to play. Southeast of Saline trying to secure their second victory this week. Gormley has it up top. Brian Banks playing defense against Mason Richards. Back over to Gormley. Little give and go. Ball on the deck in the lane. Gormley picks it up, elevates, and scores. Big bucket for Sacred Heart and a timeout called by the Knights. 49-49 our score. 57 seconds left to go. 30-second timeout. Back with more Trojan basketball.
Hi, this is Amanda with Accessible Home Care. Accessible Home Care is proud to be your locally owned Central Kansas home health agency. We are proudly serving patients within 100 miles of Salina from our Salina, Junction City, and Minneapolis offices. Whether it be skilled nursing or therapy needs or helping our patients with day-to-day tasks, call us today to learn more about how our services can keep you or your loved ones healthy at home. Check out our website at accessiblehc.com. Accessible Home Care, where our communities are our priority.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline Hoops on KINA.
Good basketball game here. Looking for a good finish. 57 seconds on the clock. 49-49 our score. And Tyler, I know it's not fan-friendly, but I always go through the situation in my head right here. You have the basketball in a tie game with a minute left. Come down, do your best to run that clock all the way down and play for the last shot. Why give it back to Sacred Heart in this moment?
I would agree. I mean, there's so many different sides you can be on the fence of this, and it looks like Sacred Heart's got that same idea, so they're going to put pressure, at least some kind of pressure on the Trojans right here. And let's see if you can possess the basketball, see how long you can, and maybe just have a layup-only offense. And if you can get that layup, you go after, and if not, you possess it for a majority of the time.
Inside, Brian Banks was wide open. Sacred Heart scrambling to cover him up. They end up in a trap. Now the ball back out to Eli Sawyers. They want Banks inside bad. Gebhardt looking at him. Bryant trying to post hard in there against Gus Campa. Nakari Morikel Palmer gets himself in traffic, lost the basketball. Now it's going to be a tie-up situation, and the arrow in favor of Southeast of Saline after Nakari lost the handle. Diving on the deck, trying to get that ball was Caleb Gilliland. Now half of that time left, 30 seconds on the clock. Southeast of Saline will inbound on the side.
And it seemed like a very anticipated call. It didn't look to be a tie-up. It looked like it was Sacred Heart basketball with the player rolling around on the floor.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see a turnover there. You'll see somebody panic, but they called a tie-up. Alternate possession to Southeast.
They're going to give Southeast the ball on the baseline. Gebhardt has it up top. Sawyers now over to Spano Lund. Camden, one dribble to his right. Clock down to 20. Lob pass inside for Banks, and Banks is undercut as he elevated for that ball. It wasn't a good pass coming in as Banks was setting up down on the block. He had to go up after it and had his feet taken out. So Brian Banks will go to the free throw line. Gus Campa with the contact, his fourth.
Well, and it just shows you the confidence you have in Bryant Banks. I mean, we discussed off air, how his offensive game just hasn't clicked yet this year. Yet they're doing everything they can to get the ball to Bryant Banks with the game on the line.
It's a 1-and-1 situation for Bryant Banks, 9th team foul for Sacred Heart. So far, Bryant in this game has visited for 4 free throws. He's 3 of 4. 5 points for the senior. Another housekeeping issue here is they're trying to wipe up the lane where the bodies hit the deck. 19.3 seconds on the clock. The possession arrow, if there's a tie-up, goes to Sacred Heart. Each team with a plethora of timeouts. Bryant Banks on a 1-and-1. First attempt is on the way, and it's crawling off, no good. Back the other way, Sacred Heart now in control. 14 seconds on the clock. 49-49. Southeast can't foul because they will put Sacred Heart in the bonus, and now the Knights will call a timeout with 9.7 seconds left. We'll keep it right here and chat about this one. Also a chance to check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. These are all from scores last night. Girls, Valley Heights beat Republic County 51-26. Minneapolis over Solomon 43-35. Smoky Valley over Concordia 56-27. Salina Central over Salina South 67-39. On the boys' side, all finals from yesterday. Valley Heights over Solomon 45-28. Minneapolis over Solomon. Valley Heights actually beat Republic County 45-28. Minneapolis over Solomon 65-40. Concordia over Smoky Valley 45-33. Salina South in overtime over Salina Central 66-61. And Abilene went on the road and beat state-ranked Augusta 56-53. Augusta, the number 2 ranked team in Class 4A, and those Abilene Cowboys will be visiting Southeast of Saline's gym for a boys-only game coming up on Tuesday. Right now, Tyler, it seems as if Sacred Heart in control. This one, it's a tie game. The Knights have the basketball. They also have the possession arrow. And a chance here with 9.7 seconds left to run offense and win this game.
Well, yeah, obviously I think they're going to look for a shot with about 3 or 4 seconds left. So if there's a miss, they can get the offensive rebound. But I'd look for Gormley to, look to penetrate and drive and somehow get the ball to Dissenberger, who's just had a monster game. Dissenberger, I mean, you'll look to see if, you'll attract the defense and get him open for a shot.
Gormley with it up top. Floats off to the right-hand side. He's looking inside at Dissenberger. Dissenberger leans under Eli Sawyers. Can't get it to go on the first attempt, but it gets the putback to go in. And Bryson Flax trying frantically to call a timeout, and the official on his side in front of the bench never heard him. There's not going to be a lot of time left. It shouldn't be, but Bryson Flax, watching the officials exit the gym, he never got his timeout. So that's how this one's going to end. As Alex Disberger missed his first attempt, he got in underneath the arm of Eli Sawyers and was able to put the rebound back up and in, and Sacred Heart's going to win it 51-49.
What a wild finish. And, again, you wouldn't expect anything less from this rivalry. That's exactly kind of what we thought was going to happen. Gormley got the ball into Disberger, who just been so strong all night, missed his first shot, gathered the offensive rebound, was able to explode up for the game winner.
Final score 51-49. Postgame's coming up next, brought to you by L&L Advisors. Final numbers and a Verdon Jewelers Gym of the Game. It's all coming up. Sacred Heart wins it by 2 here on KINA.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach, right off Crawford, and their second location in the Central Mall in Salina, and a new location in McPherson, based on honesty and trust. Contact L&L Advisors today.
'Twas prior to Christmas, and all through the land, husbands were nervy, for no gift had been planned. The lady so precious will certainly sneer. Thank goodness, Vernon Jewelers is here. Right now, save 20% off store-wide at Vernon Jewelers. Excludes loose diamonds, repairs, and special orders. Leaving the store, he gloats with a smile.